Welcome to this live stream event of Panther Sports. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Richie Ewing, Neil Thornton. All gas, no brakes. Let's get it.
A nice liner, and that's going to be off of the Hawks.
It's off of his hands.
And that's going to be a recovery.
Touchdown.
Oh, that's going to be a touchdown, Panthers. Touchdown, Panthers. That was a, wow, I'm not sure what he was thinking.
He didn't know the rules. That's what he was thinking.
That rolled right off of him. Their scoring account. Underneath, number 9, Goodo with the ball, still on his feet.
Right
Touchdown, Panthers. Pitch out. Valtiera. Inside. Touchdown, Panthers. Going to turn and go. And it's going to be touchdown. And he's going to hand the ball off to Bankhead, and that's going to be a touchdown to number 1, Corey Bankhead. Touchdown, Panthers. Second quarter, Caden Nolan under center. Going to roll out, looking over the top, and it's going to be right into the hands of Mason Goodo. Touchdown, Panthers! And we talk about the ball control. And it's going to be over the top, all by himself. Touchdown, Panthers! And
Gavin Fontenot.
that's Gavin Fontenot with the touchdown reception. He could not have been more alone in the end zone. Cuts outside, finds some green grass. Still on his feet. 20, 10, touchdown, Panthers.
Nation, and welcome to this live stream event. You're watching Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts. Alongside me, Ross Norwood, as always, Statman Neil Thornton. He's not next to me. He's behind me. Producer Richard Ewing. On cameras tonight, Alan Parga, Tanis Grimes, Oscar Cicada, and Alejandro Minivar. Welcome to Silsbee, Texas, for Game 2 of 11-4A action. If that intro didn't get you pumped up for Friday Night Lights, then I do not know what will get you pumped up, Ross Norwood.
Big ball game ahead as Silsby loses last week to Orangefield and Liberty pummeling Hardin Jefferson. And both come in with that 1-0 district record. And Liberty looking to get one from Silsby and take a lead in the district.
11-4A action continuing tonight. Liberty Panthers winning last week, doing it right. And we have one of our very first sponsors we'd like to thank. We'd like to thank the Liberty ISD Education Foundation for being one of our first major sponsors. And they are going to be sponsoring our starting lineup. Sorry about that. I'm trying to multitask. So we're going to kick that over to our starting lineup.
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, serving Liberty ISD since 2007. Tonight's offensive starters are right tackle Juan Sanchez, right guard Zach Davis, center Cord Carter, left guard Joe Garcia, and left tackle Dylan Davis. At the skills positions tonight, tight end Cade Jordan and tight end Gavin Fontenot. In the backfield for the Panthers, halfback Austin Walker, fullback Titus Bell, and halfback Mason Godot. And under center tonight, quarterback Caden Nolan. Tonight's defensive starters are, on the defensive line, defensive end Titus Bell, defensive tackle Colby Ewing, defensive end Manny Freeman, at linebacker, outside linebacker Bo Fowler, inside linebacker William Waldrop, inside linebacker Caleb Chandler, outside linebacker Quentin Johnston, and in the secondary, cornerback Mason Godot, safety Austin Walker, safety Gavin Becker, and cornerback Caden Nolan. The special teams unit for tonight, punter Jaden Shemp, and kicker Brian Montez.
All right, Panther Nation, we are in the middle of the national anthem. I'm going to be quiet while they finish that. And that'll do it for the national anthem. Both teams on the field. Both have entered from their respective tunnels. There's 12 on the scoreboard. And it looks like we may be able to get started a little bit earlier here, set for a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. But it looks like that's going to occur a little earlier than usual. The captains for tonight heading to the middle of the field, number 9, Mason Goodo, number 13, William Waldrop, number 33, Titus Bell, and number 5, Austin Walker. Ross, what are we going to see tonight?
Field conditions are going to come in pretty big here. I was watching some warm-ups, and Silsby was having some issues with the long snapper on a punter. So if that situation comes up, he was going low, he was going high, and that could be disastrous if Liberty's defense can force that punt. For Liberty, they've had some issues in the last few weeks with slick balls and exchanges, whether that be center to quarterback or quarterback to running back.
I saw talked to one of the coaches down there when we were coming up to set up, and asked him had they been practicing with a wet ball this week, and he said that they had. So maybe they've got these kids used to handling a slick pigskin. Hopefully they have, because you're right, it's been a problem. In a tight game last week with the number of slick ball turnovers that Liberty had, it would have been a factor.
All right, Silsby going to be receiving the opening kickoff, and the Liberty Panthers will be on defense first. And defense, have they been playing as of late, Ross?
Right now, they are through 5 games. They've given up a total of 853 yards. They're averaging 170.6 yards given up per game, and that's a great number for them, and that's a little bit higher because of that first game against Huffman.
Well, we've already saw our first spill there. One of the linesmen falling on the ground, so you can already see what kind of slick conditions we have. Sophomore Brian Montez set to kick the ball off for the Panthers as we are just about to begin this Game 2 and 11 4A action, and away we go. It's going to be a high kick, end over end, going to hit and go out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. Flags thrown, and either they're going to take the nice field position or they'll make him kick, and it does not look like they are going to make him kick.
Tough one, as the Panthers have to watch out for one of the
we're going to call him preeminent
kick return threats, and that's Draylon Miller. And going through some of these,
They pinned him over there on the sideline. It went out right in front of him, and with the height of that kick, the hang time it had, they had him pretty well covered. And of course, pinning him up against the sideline helps as well.
Well, the Silsby Tigers will come out in a pro formation, 2 men in the backfield, receiver to the left and right. Quarterback going to hand the ball off to number 20 and to get crushed in the backfield by number 5, Austin Walker.
Marquise Dodd was the ball carrier for Silsby on that one, and just breaking through that line, the Panther defense coming out early and showing that they're not going to just
they're not rolling over.
No, not that we expected them to.
There'll be a loss of a yard on the play. 2nd down and 11 for the Silsby Tigers. Same formation, pro set. Receiver to the left and right. I form in the backfield. Going to drop back this time, trying to find someone over the top, and almost a Liberty Panther coming up with that number 2 for the Panthers.
Caden Nolan.
Caden Nolan, the quarterback, and, got some pretty good hands.
All around good hand.
Mason Brisbane is the quarterback for Silsby, and on the year he's 38 of 85 for 755 yards. He's thrown 2 interceptions and 10 touchdowns.
That's going to stop the
10
clock.
10 touchdowns?
11:21, 3rd down and long in the first quarter here in Silsby, Texas. Going to be shotgun formation, hand to the right-hand side. 20 looking for some green grass and going to find a little bit of it and more than enough to pick up the first down. The ball moved up to the Tiger 45-yard line, and that will be a big pickup on the third down, something that the Panther defense is going to look to kind of negate later on, Ross.
Marcus Dodd, the runner for Silsby, there, he's going to be the main runner. On the year, 97 carries for 655 yards with 3 touchdowns.
Near hash mark. Some wingback action out there. Man in motion coming across. Back to Dodd, the running back, up the middle, and another big chunk of yards for that young man. Going to be enough for the first down and into Panther territory down to the Panther 45.
Caden Nolan and Austin Walker teaming up on that one. Austin Walker coming from the other side of the field to put on the death blow there on Dodd.
Tigers twins to the left. Quarterback looking to the sideline for the play. Going to hand the ball off to the tailback. Bounces outside, finds some running room, still on his feet, cuts through the hole, and then finally pulled down at the Liberty 25-yard line. Back-to-back gashers for the Tigers.
Austin Walker was able to adjust on that cutback and stay with Dodd. Otherwise, he would have been all the way in the end zone.
They really sealed the outside on us on that one.
Good. Moving out of the pistol into a one-back. Deuce set. And snap slow, going to hand the ball, going to go right this time, and the Panthers ready for it. Maybe a yard on the pickup.
Great job by Victor Ruiz to stand right up to Dodd and bring him down.
Just under 10 minutes to go here in the first quarter, and the Silsby Tigers driving, picking up a crucial third down, and then from there, a couple of big pickups on consecutive plays. Second down and 9 for them, deep in Panther territory. Doubles to the right of the quarterback. Going to roll out to his left, and throwing one, and just in and out of the hands of the receiver for the Tigers in the end zone. Quarterback slipping when he rolled out. Had he not slipped, that may have been a nice little basket catch down there, Ross.
Austin Walker with the coverage. There was a little bit of contact, but Walker playing the ball, so no issue on pass interference.
Good pressure by the outside. I don't know who's playing the right-hand side over there. But good pressure from that young man playing the defensive end spot on the right-hand side.
Bo Fowler.
There we go.
Third down and long for the Tigers. Rolling out, this time a different quarterback. Going to throw it out of bounds, and that's going to stop the clock again. Bring up fourth down and 9, and at 9:27, the Tigers facing their first real crucial decision of the contest early on in this game.
This is what you were calling last week, that no man's land. I think it's a little bit deep for them to kick a field goal, and it's certainly too far down for them to punt. So this is in 4-down territory here.
Okay, back. They're going to go for it this time. Shotgun formation, man in motion coming across the right-hand side. 5 looking back, going to throw it over the left. And that's going to be nothing, going to fall harmlessly there. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. And what looked like a disastrous defensive start for the Panthers turns into a shorn-up defense and turnover on downs, Ross.
Waldrop with the coverage there, trying to multitask. And that's not a good idea for me today, Joe.
Well, I'm not sure multitasking is good for you on any day. So the Panthers going to take over on their own 24-yard line. They're moving right to left. And if I were looking at a compass, they're going from west to east. Going to come out in their probably double wing, double tight formation.
This is one of the few fields that we play on that will be oriented east and west.
Caden Nolan under center for the Panthers. And there's going to be
an exchange issue, and it looks like
Fumble, and they
Silsby
sure
is
picked
going
it up.
to recover.
And that is not the way the Panther offense wanted to start. the Tiger offense will be coming back onto the field at the 9:18 mark of the first quarter. Last week, the Panthers had a shaky first drive, and then from there they went on to, we'll call it glory, Ross.
It was little different competition this week.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Let's keep a wrap on that one.
We talked about it, Joe, before the game about the exchanges. And so one play for the Panthers on offense, and the turnover puts them back on defense.
Shotgun formation for the Tigers. Going to hand the ball off to number 20 after reading that. Decided to give it up and going to pick up maybe a yard or two on that. Going to bring up second down for Silsby, deep in Panther territory after the turnover. .58, under 9 minutes to go here. And so far this early quarter, the Tigers in possession of the ball. Doubles to the right. I form in the backfield. Number 5 not liking what he's seeing, looking for a new play. Going to hand the ball off to the tailback, bouncing to the right, and just avoiding the initial tackle by the Panthers. And that looks like Austin Walker just missing that initial tackle, but the rest of the Panthers there to pick him up.
Went to wrap him up, and he just bounced right off of him.
Yeah, it's kind of wet out there. You can see the field's a little juicy. So there's going to be some of that stumbling going on, and probably as the game continues, it could get worse. Third down and just about 7 yards to go, maybe 6. The Tigers on the Panther 20-yard line, or just over it. Trips to the short side of the field, lone receiver to the wide side. Going to hand the ball off to 20. Trying to bounce out extremely wide and not able to do it. Panthers keeping contained, and that's going to bring up fourth down for the Silsby Tigers. And again, in that very similar position, Ross.
Almost exactly that position, and a good job there of putting pressure on that line to break that seal on the outside.
Yeah, they've solved that problem over there. No gain on that play.
Fourth down and 6 for the Tigers. Doubles to the wide side, lone receiver to the left. Shotgun formation. Well, I guess not lone. Oh, getting out of that and getting pulled down out of bounds. Nothing doing on that. Another defensive stand for the Panthers, and they will take over on downs yet again at the 7:43 mark, Ross.
Traylon Miller getting the direct snap there, trying to shake up that Panther defense, and they came right through the line, getting through a few of the gaps and put that pressure, kind of busted that play a little bit.
Actually a 3-yard loss on that.
Panther offense going to have to get to work to give these defensive starters a bit of a rest. They've been on the field for a goodly, I'm going to call that almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, one play from scrimmage for the Panthers.
And it didn't go well.
Panthers coming back onto the field, double tight, double wing formation. It's going to be Jolin Curtis bouncing to the right. And finally brought down after a pickup of a couple of yards. Looks like you're going to give him maybe 3 on that. Second down and probably 7. It's kind of hard to see where exactly they are.
I'm used to being on the home side. We're on the visitor side tonight, and I kept looking for the down sticks on the other side and could not find them.
Yeah, taking a little bit of
right under your nose.
Yeah.
And now again the toss to the
block.
running back. And is that number 1 or number 7?
That was.
Yep, there, number 1, Bankhead, trying to
Bankhead.
get the outside, not able to do it.
Lost his 2, didn't he?
Kai Elder with the tackle.
And that's going to push them back to just about the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 for the Panthers. Just about 6:30 to go here. And Panthers going to break the huddle. Had some success on 3rd down so far this young season. Man in motion. Nolan rolling out to his right and going to tuck the ball and run. Eludes one tackler and going to pick up enough for the first down before finally being brought down at about the Panther 37-yard line.
Lots of patience by Nolan, waiting on some holes to open up for him, and he was rewarded.
Very much so. And Coach Taylor has already said that he's given him the green light to do that on those bootlegs, to go out there. If it's not there, don't try to force a poor throw. Just tuck it and go.
A lot of times the defense on those situations will bite on the pass, and once you do that as a defender, especially on a night like tonight with the field conditions sloppy, you're almost always going to benefit as the ball carrier. I guess I should have clarified that a little bit.
And Nolan handing the ball off again to number 22, Valtierra, his first touch of the night, and probably getting back to the line of scrimmage, not much more than that. They may give him a half a yard on that.
I don't do fractions on this thing. So
well, I don't think that down box has even moved. He went back to his original spot.
Oh, did he?
Going to bring up the second down and 10. Again, the Panthers on their own, probably 37-yard line, if we're going to call it a yard line.
A huge first down for the Panthers on the previous play, because it gets them in a position where if they do have to punt it away, they can play the field position game with the punter that they have.
All right, double tight, double wing formation again for the Panthers. Nolan under center.
He slipped down.
And going to slip, and you can see right now the middle of the field almost entirely muddy brown. And that's going to be a factor for most of the evening. It's going to be a loss on the carry. Bring up third down and probably 12 or 13. Yep. Looks like they're going to spot it just on the other side of the 35-yard line.
It's been raining here all day. Did not have a chance to paint the yardage numbers or the hash marks. It's just the every 10-yard line.
It's like watching the old school football from when Neil was younger, right?
5 yards.
That's twice tonight you've insulted me about my age, and once on the air. I'm going to get you before the night's over.
I got to get you while you can't get me yet. And dropping back, Nolan throwing the ball up there for anyone, and looks like Austin Walker almost came up with it. A battle there with the defensive back and not able to hang on to it. That would have been a miraculous play indeed. Nolan throwing up a prayer.
Kai Elder with the coverage and really getting in there, and there was a lot of contact.
Yeah, there really was. It looked like he was pulling him, but I think at that point they're probably going to say that both had equal play on the ball there.
Slick ball conditions again there too. That ball had wings on it and feathers. It was up there and ducking around. But like I say, it's slick ball, so it's hard to throw.
Jaden Shemp on to punt for the Panthers. Their first punt of the evening.
Averages 41.83 yards per punt.
That's going to hit and roll and going to be fielded, not very cleanly, but going to be picked up by number 1 and going to be pulled down.
Number 2.
We're going to have a flag at the line of scrimmage.
Yep, they're going to flag Liberty for stepping on at the very end and breaking the huddle without 11 men. I think that's what they're going to call them for, if I had to venture a guess.
Yeah, they're asking the coach at Silsbee, it looks, whether they want to accept or decline the penalty.
And by the way, Jaden Shemp, the punting average leader in District 11 4A right now.
He is.
They're going to make him do it again?
They are going to make him do it again.
Okay.
He has 6 punts for 251 yards. As I said, 41.8 yards per. His longest of the year so far, 54 yards.
Yeah, not much punting going on last week. I don't know that he punted the ball once last week.
I do not think so.
No, we did not.
All right, the Panthers trying to get their setting here. Going to try this again, take 2. And Shemp again with a very high punt. That is not what they wanted. It's going to hit and not do too much. Almost hit and stick up to where the line to gain would have been had the Panthers just trying to throw that ball. And the Tigers going to take over with extremely favorable field position at the 3:39 mark in the first quarter.
Panther defense able to hold last time, and they had even better field position.
The Tigers going to have the ball 1st and 10 from the Panther 47-yard line near hash mark. Tigers going left to right. working from the east to the west. And they're going to be in a shotgun formation, doubles to the left and right of the quarterback. Surveying the field, right down the old middle, and that's going to be pitch and catch at the 3:31 mark. Touchdown, Silsby. And if you're going to draw it up, that's a pretty good way to draw it up.
Draylon Miller.
We talked about this earlier off air, Ross. He doesn't have a boatload of catches, but he has a boatload of yards, which means that when he does catch the ball, he catches it for a lot of goodness.
Coming into the game, 18 catches for 508 yards, averages 28.2 yards per catch, and that is the 8th touchdown for him this year.
And that extra point is good. At the 3:31 mark, the Silsby Tigers going to go ahead of your Liberty Panthers 7-0, and that young man probably a 47-yard catch. Neil, you got that score?
46 yards.
46, okay.
Catch, yes. One play, 46 yards, 3:31 mark.
It's going to be very difficult for the Panthers if the defense has to keep going out and staying out. Of course, that was a quick trip.
Yeah, they didn't stay out long then, did they?
That was a very quick trip. Well, the one thing that I do know about the Liberty Panthers, they are resilient, and they have been in contests before where they were not the first scorer and came out victorious, so hopefully nothing doing on that end. Panthers coming out to accept the kickoff. Number 3, Jolin Curtis, back deep, and number 21.
We do not have a 21
I'm
on
not
our
sure
roster.
who is wearing an alternate uniform tonight. I wonder if that is Fontenot. He's normally back there. He may not be wearing 15. He may be wearing 21 tonight.
You see a 15 on the sideline?
And I don't see a 15 on the sideline.
That's what it is.
That's probably Gavin Fontenot back there wearing a new number. Well, Tigers set to kick off. And that's going to be high. Not super deep. Fontenot going to field it very cleanly. Back up the middle, looking for some running room. Going to return it back to the Panther 32-yard line, it looks like.
Was able to shake off the first defender, Kai Elder, and pick up some more yardage.
Panthers going to step into their new drive with pretty good field position, pretty good starting field position, Ross.
I don't want to say it's exactly where they were on their last.
Well, you say what you want to say.
That's pretty close to where they were.
Yeah, exactly.
On their last drive. Drive was the word I was looking for.
That was about a 25-yard return. That was pretty good.
And we're going to have a officials timeout right now. Okay, they had to get that down box and the chain gang set.
May have been a kink in the chain.
I see what you did there, Ross. All right, 1st and 10 for the Liberty Panthers at the 3:25 mark in the first quarter.
We're going to have
be some movement, and that probably is going to be against the Panthers. They blew that whistle right away. Going to be some false start.
Juan Sanchez got a little head start there.
A big right tackle, Juan Sanchez. He has been a force to be reckoned with so far this season. When he was out for family situation, he definitely was missed. Panthers trailing early in this contest in the first quarter, 7-0. 3:24 mark, first down and 15 for the Panthers.
Was it last week we went about a quarter with the chains?
Yes.
At 9 yards?
Right, about 9 or 9.5 yards, right.
Nolan under center for the Panthers. Going to toss the ball out to Valtierra, who's going to get tripped up in the backfield, and I'm not sure he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage there. He may have.
Yeah, they're giving him about a yard, I think.
They're going to give him just a little bit more.
Tripped up by LaMarcus Botley.
Second down and 15 for the Panthers. Looks like they are. I cannot tell if they've given him a yard or not.
Well, he moved the down box up, but the announcer said no gain. I'm going with the down box.
Well, that's a pretty good box to go with, Neil.
Another
poor
issue.
exchange there. And hopefully the Panthers laid back down on it. The Tigers not indicating that they think they have it. And the Panthers indeed did come back up with that.
Cord cutter falling Carter. I did this yesterday. No, actually that was Dylan Davis.
Yep.
Falling on that one. I'm a mess today.
Ross, you're a mess every day, but that's why we love you. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Panthers. Having some troubles early going here, getting that exchange just the way they want it. Again, it has been raining off and on all day long here in Silsby. Currently, though, nice weather out.
Another exchange issue.
Well, I think he got it in his belly because I think he did. I don't know who that was. Let's see who gets up with it. Austin. Looks like Austin Walker.
Well, that's going to bring up 4th and long for the Panthers, and a series of poor exchanges, not really allowing the Panthers to get anything going on this particular drive. Shemp, the senior, back on to punt for the Panthers. The last punt he had was not very good. I'm sure he's going to look for an amend on that one. And indeed he does. Nice spiral punt. It's going to hit and take a Panther bounce. And going to be down 31 by number 2, Caden Nolan, at the Tiger 31-yard line. So that was a nice sigh of relief from the Panther special teams.
42-yarder.
That's a weapon the Panthers have that not very many teams at this level have.
That's true.
And that is a punter who can flip field position.
1:21 to go here in the first quarter. Tigers scoring on their last offensive possession via 46-yard touchdown strike, leading the Panthers 7-0. And Panther defense back on the field again.
A mistake here will get the Panthers back in it. They can pick up on something. That was actually motion right there they didn't call.
And the misdirection, not really misdirecting anyone. And the Panthers coming up with a stop and not much gain, maybe 2 yards on that.
I guess.
Bring up 2nd down and 8.
Gavin Becker all over that one.
Tigers moving up to their own 32-yard line. Middle of the hash marks. Kind of hard to tell where the hash marks are and where the mud isn't. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Tigers, double receivers to the left. Shotgun formation. Number 5 looking for the quick strike, going right down the sideline. And that's going to be nothing doing. And they're going to have a flag on the play. And that may be pass interference. Not sure what they're going to call there.
That is about where it is. But he ran into Austin Walker. Of course, Walker had his back turned.
And they are going to, looks like they are going to call that.
I think the referee may be trying to talk him out of it.
Perhaps so. See what we're going to get here.
Pass interference.
And they are indeed going to call that. And that's going to be a costly foul. That is a spot foul at this level.
Is it a spot foul?
No, I'm sorry. It's not a spot foul at this level. It's a 15. It's a spot foul at the pro level.
So, Neil, what did you see on that play?
I just saw Austin Walker face guarding him, and my coaches would have had us running until yesterday, week from yesterday, for face guarding him. But he did. The receiver did run into him. He actually did.
1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 47-yard line. Doubles to the left and right. And that's going to be some movement, and that's going to stop the play. Linesman taking his time. Get that flag out of there.
I was wondering if they were going to throw it because there was one, I guess, 2 plays ago where there was some motion.
Right.
This one a little more obvious.
Well, it's not Canadian football. They can't, line up and they just take off, right? Although I think they still have to be behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, right. In Canadian football, you can move forward, just can't cross the line.
We have 1st down and 15 for the Tigers. Going to push them back to their own 41-yard line, 42-yard line, rather.
A couple of plays ago, you had the wing back going kind of in motion back towards the center, and the tailback took a step up before the ball was snapped, but they didn't call it.
Trip receivers to the left, single receiver to the near side. Running back number 20 going to bounce out to the left on the
Colby
handoff.
Ewing after
Going
him.
to get dropped from behind, and that's going to be number 44, Colby Ewing, the nose guard, defensive tackle, tracking him down. Going to get back to just about the original line of scrimmage there. 2nd down and 10. And that's probably going to do it for the first quarter. And indeed, that is going to be it for the first quarter here in Silsbee, Texas. After 1, your Liberty Panthers 0, Silsbee Tigers 7. And I'm going to predict that we're in a slog festival tonight, Ross. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, but I know that it's going to be muddy while it's going to be happening.
You've seen a lot of passing so far. Let me get my microphone back. I can't even do that right today. A lot of passing so far in this game through the first quarter. It'll be interesting to see as the night goes on and that field conditions deteriorate if we see that. Now, Silsby does lean more towards a passing offense versus putting it on the ground, but
well, they're trying to get those one-on-one matchups and just try to out-athlete someone, try to run that receiver down there, and that's not a bad game plan to have when you've got those kind of athletes.
Yeah, Draylon Miller, the go-to receiver for Brisbane. It's always nice to have that guy out there, very tall.
Indeed. At the start of the second quarter, doubles to the right, 2nd down and 10. Going to hand the ball off to number 20 again, trying to bounce it outside, comes back inside. Going to pick up 4 or 5 yards, depending on where they spot him. Going to give him 4 yards on that.
Austin Walker with the tackle.
Ball's going to be right on the 50-yard line, middle of the hash mark. The Tigers now going from right to left. Panther defense doing a pretty remarkable job so far given the circumstances with which they've been tasked.
Jeff Stewart's defense, accustomed to standing strong.
We hand off to number 20, again over the right-hand side. Going to get picked up by several defenders. Again, Colby Ewing in on that along with Titus Bell. Number 4, Quentin Johnson, making the stop as well. Going to bring up 4th down and a manageable 4 for the Tigers as they've now made their way into Panther territory down to the Panther. We're going to call this the 48-yard line, maybe 47.
Good block by Josh Bradley on Titus Bell. Bell was there, but he threw the block on him, and there went the hole.
And dropping back, going to get drilled, and the ball is going to fall harmlessly by the wayside. And a nice defensive play. Looks like that was number 7, Bo Fowler, coming in with the pressure on the quarterback, Ross.
Yeah, he got right through that line and just lit him up.
I was not expecting that. He came through really, really quickly, and I'm not sure the running back was even looking for that ball that quick.
He did not have any time to get a receiver set. His only hope was to get rid of it, which he did.
Panthers take over on down to the 10:33 mark of the second quarter, coming back out on offense. Panthers moving left to right. Nolan under center for the Panthers, double tight, double wing formation. Bankhead in motion, going to take the ball left-hand side, trying to find any kind of green grass, and may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Tiger defenders sniffing that out very quickly. They're actually going to give him maybe 2 yards on that.
2 yards.
Yeah,
2 yards.
Watching the line judge there, he's standing right on the 50.
Right on the 50. It could be exactly 2-yard pickup for that young man. 2nd down and 8 from the 50 for your Liberty Panthers.
Had to count yard lines there for a minute.
Yeah, without those numbers, you can sort of see them if you look, but I'm blind, so that's just out of my wheelhouse right now. Panthers coming back to the line of scrimmage. The handoff, or toss rather. Number 5, Austin Walker, going to step in there for another couple of yards. And I'm going to give a big shout out again to our starting lineup sponsors, the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, serving Liberty ISD since 2007. Ross, you know a thing or two about that foundation.
They've done what they've done since 2007 is helped supplement with teachers with grants on projects that they're being able to do now, but that are above what the school budget would be. And if you're interested, a great organization, you can go to their website, libertyeducationfoundation.net, and click on the secure credit card donation link.
And that's going to be a timeout for Liberty at the 8:52 mark. Liberty facing a third down and manageable 6 yards, maybe 5 depending on how you're looking at it. Panthers trying to get something going, picked up a big third down on a first quarter possession. Weren't able to turn that into anything, but they did pick up something. Ross?
In that territory for that Liberty offense to pick up a first down, normally, 5 and in is a good bet for a Liberty first down.
Also want to thank our scoreboard sponsor, Emily Cook, attorney at law. Thank her for doing that. Always appreciative of our sponsors. They allow us to get equipment and do some other fun stuff with these wonderful students at Liberty High School, the audiovisual program. You're watching Liberty Panther Sports Network in Silsbee, Texas, 11-4A action. And Austin Walker still on his feet, trying to get going. Almost was able to elude a tackler, and I'm convinced that the sloppy field conditions prevented him from making that cut. That's normally a pickup that he makes quite easily.
He had some footing issues, lost his footing a little bit, and they're going to say his knee touched the ground.
Oh, okay.
It's going to bring up 4th down and maybe 4 yards, long 3.5. The ball down on the Tiger 45-yard line, but they are going to send number 60, the senior punter, Jaden Shemp, onto the field and see what he can do to pin the Tigers and force them to play a little chess. Be a high snap, going to be over his head and not able to do anything with it, and gets leveled before he can do anything with the ball. And that is, as they say, not optimal.
That was recovered by Jaquez Carter.
One of the things that normally happens when that occurs is you'd like your punter, if he has no time to do it, to just jump on the ball and keep it from being a dangerous play. Shemp trying to get it going. To his credit, he tried to get something out of that and just not able to do it, and the Tigers capitalizing on that miscue. Now going to be having a 1st and 10 from very, very favorable position.
Going to get a sideline warning against Silsby.
It's kind of hard not to celebrate on that kind of a hit because it was a pretty good hit.
Not something that's characteristic
Oh,
of.
they didn't get a warning.
No, they didn't.
They definitely gave them the granddaddy.
Yeah, they did.
I never saw the flag.
No, I did not either, but they gave them the big one. That's going to push that ball back into Tiger territory. And pretty much from where the Panthers punted from is where the Tigers are going to take over.
Joe, I'm thinking that was not a sideline warning. That was unsportsmanlike conduct.
I think so. 20 out to the right-hand side, trying to get something going. Still on his feet, close to the 1st down mark. And the umpire looks like and the linesmen are also stepped over. That is going to be enough for the 1st down. So the Tigers getting it rolling there. Now back into Panther territory, Ross.
Huge block by that Silsby lineman.
I will tell you, it's a little hard to get used to being on the other side. We were there in Madisonville, but it's been a while since we've been on the opposite side.
Although the same side we've been on for the last 3 weeks.
That is so true. The quarterback going to pull it and then slip and going to be touched at the, looks like 45-yard line, although he was down, so they didn't have to touch him.
Quentin Johnson.
Bring up 2nd down and probably 13, 14. That's going to bring up a long situation for the Tigers. Be on the far hash mark. 6:58 to go here in the second quarter. Silsby leading your Liberty Panthers 7-0.
This is where the long passing game comes in handy for Silsby, if they so choose to do that.
And going to hand the ball off over the right-hand side. Again, going to be close to first down yardage.
No, he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I was looking at the wrong marker there. Tricked me.
Just about did the same thing.
Yeah. See, there you go, Neil. Now you're making fun of me. We're even.
That's one. One.
Third down and 10 for the Tigers. That's much better than facing a short for a first down.
Marquise Dodd's already carried the ball 14 times tonight. 82 yards.
Spread formation for the Tigers. Doubles to the right and left. Shotgun. Dropping back and throwing it right into the pocket, right in the middle, and going to be caught for about 4 yards. Bring up fourth down and 6, maybe.
Victor Ruiz with the stop.
From where it was, that muddy uniform, it almost looked like he threw it to a gray uniform, and I was getting ready to get excited.
Pressure was put on Brisbee by none other than Titus Bell.
Well, if you're going to expect some pressure, he's a good one to expect it from. The defensive line for the Panthers been pretty good all season long, led by Colby Ewing. It's going to be a low snap, picked up, thrown, and almost picked off.
Maybe
Instead, it's going to be a reception, but it's going to be short, and that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Neil,
sir,
how many turnovers on downs is that for Silsby tonight?
Silsby 1, 2 so far. Two over on down.
Oh, I thought there was.
No, I thought that was three. Three, maybe 4. Been some pretty good defensive work from the Panthers, facing some pretty ugly situations and holding strong.
Another time getting the ball back. Silsby getting their ball back in the Panther territory.
First and 10 for the Panthers. 5:13 to go in the second quarter. Liberty trailing 7-0. Again, double tight, double wing formation. Austin Walker this time under center, out to Curtis, finding some green grass, breaking open, down to the 20, finally getting pushed out of bounds. And for the first time tonight, the Panthers offensively with some sort of spark.
Draylon Miller with the push Curtis out.
Again, that was Austin Walker under center that time for the Panthers. The toss to Jolin Curtis, the senior. He caught the corner there, and it looked like he was going to be able to house it, and just pushed out of bounds. First and 10 with the best field position so far of the young evening that the Panthers have faced.
46 yards on that pickup.
Going to be on the Tiger 21-yard line, near hash marks. Walker again under center. Bankhead in motion. And I think there may have been a miscommunication there. Walker looked to hand the ball off, and there was no one there except some Tigers, and he turned nothing into something.
Yeah,
was that Walker under center or Caden?
Walker.
That was Walker. Yeah, Ross, he definitely turned nothing into something.
It looked like it was going to be another either stop at the line of scrimmage or a loss, and Walker able to regain his footing enough. And they're really kind of, if you look where they are right now on this near side hash, that's a little muddy.
Walker again under center. And this guy, I'm going to toss the ball.
Is that Jolin? Is that Jolin
Curtis? 3.
Yeah.
Number 3 with the ball carry, and he's going to, I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage or not.
The senior Caden Stone stopped him.
Panthers going to be facing a 3rd and 6 from what looks like the 17-yard line, 16-yard line. Again, they're the Tiger staff not able to mark the field because of all the rain they've received. Walker under center. Gonna look to pass over the top, and there's going to be some extracurriculars out there, and I'm not sure if they're going to call that offensive pass interference or defensive pass interference, but the flag is in that area.
Well, it depends on when you threw the flag.
Yeah, I never saw the flag.
Defensive.
It didn't look like the receiver for the Panthers was looking, so I'm not sure. It was going to be over his shoulders. And they're still trying to figure it out. I feel like the officiating crew wants to mark this off against the Tigers. I know in my heart that's what I want. And we're going to get the white hat signal here.
If it's holding.
Oh, it's going to be a defensive holding. Okay, well,
So
we'll
that's
take
5.
that too.
That's 5, right?
And no matter what it is, it's going to bring up a first down.
Oh, 8. They gave him half the distance.
Yep, that's going to be a big one. That's going to bring up first and goal for the Panthers from the Tiger 8-yard line, perhaps.
I thought defensive holding was 5 yards.
I thought it was too, but
We're not going to say anything.
yeah, I'm not going to go
call
down
the game
there.
for them.
Let them do their job. Austin Walker under center, and going to keep the ball, trying to get the pile push, and
Pile
still
still
on his
moving.
feet. Still moving.
Lovely scrum.
And the scrum getting close, and
They're going to get him about the 1 or half-yard line.
maybe half-yard line there. That was a pretty darn good scrum there.
Oh,
The big
look at-
fellas for the Panthers.
They're going to put the down box in the end zone.
It does look
Almost.
Well, you can see it from the camera. You can see it from the camera. There we go. Now we can see it from the camera. I love our high school camera operators. They're doing a pretty good job. And that's going to be a timeout going to be called.
Liberty's going to call that timeout.
Liberty going to take the timeout at the 2:46 mark. Liberty going to take a timeout facing a second and goal from maybe the 1-yard line, trailing 7-0 and knocking on the door for the first time all evening long.
Well, if they can put this in at, 2.5 minutes and come out and make a good defensive stand, get a good kickoff coverage, get them back deep around between the 20 and the 30, make a good defensive stand, maybe we can go into halftime tied up. Silsby makes a mistake, maybe we can go in up one score.
Coach Taylor down there in the huddle, giving the old game plan. I think he's the only person on the planet that might sweat more than I do when we step out there. He's definitely a hero.
I got coffee on the way home. Says that if we score here, Coach Taylor kicks onside kick.
Perhaps we could, although the
I'll take that
Panthers are going to be receiving the second half kickoff.
I bet they feel like they can hold them from the 50.
Well, here we go. And it looks like another push in the middle. This time the Tiger defense going to hold. Walker not able to push that ball in.
I don't think it moved it a bit.
I don't think so. Back to the original line of scrimmage. If anything, he might have lost half a yard there. Third down and goal. 2:22 to go here in the second quarter. Hey, there it is. There's our scoreboard. I love that. Our producer, Richard Ewing, working furiously behind the scenes to make sure that we're taken care of.
No, he's not.
Liberty Panthers Sports Network, Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing. And away we go. This time going to be the toss to Curtis, trying to find the outside, and going to get in. Touchdown, Panthers at the 156 mark. Your Liberty Panthers finally finding pay dirt. And I can't even say pay dirt. They found pay mud.
A great job by Curtis keeping his feet, and a great job by the offensive line opening up that hole that he got through. He had to hesitate for just a second to wait for that to open, but it happened.
Brian Montez on for the extra point. The hold is good. The kick is up. It's through the uprights. And again, at the 156 mark, your Liberty Panthers pulling level with the Silsby Tigers And what looked like was going to get ugly early has turned into a back-and-forth affair between powerhouse Silsby Tigers and your Liberty Panthers, the up-and-coming Panthers, I might call them. Neil, you ready for a drive summary?
Okay. 7 plays, 67 yards. Jolin Curtis goes in from the 1 at the, 156 mark. PAT's good, 7-7 with 156 left.
All right, Ross, I am not willing to take your bet because the Panthers are going to be receiving the second half kickoff.
Oh, no, that was
was that Neil's bet? Okay, well, I don't know who bet, but I'm not taking it. I don't have Vegas in my blood the way Coach Taylor does. Brian Montez, the sophomore, Mr. Iceman, as we called him last year, so critical in multiple contests and pretty much steady as the Northern Star with the extra point attempts. Another good one for that young man. Set for the kickoff.
The deep man, Jeremiah Jackson, for Silsby.
Going to try to keep the ball away from the return man. And that's going to be fielded cleanly at the 15. Still on his feet. Bounces outside and off to the races. And Montez, the kicker, trying to get him, not able to do it. And that is going to be a long return. But there is a flag at about the 45-yard line.
I didn't think he threw the flag there at first, and it was terribly blatant. He had him by the waist.
There was one a little further back that was he got him right in the back, pushed him down, but.
Well, the hold against the Tigers is going to negate that 85-yard kickoff return. And
they probably don't have that 85-yard return if they don't
Without that hold, they don't. You're exactly right.
You're probably right.
Actually, I feel pretty confident they don't.
Right, that hold was critical to that. Really was.
Well, you guys have your opinions, and I'll have my opinion, and then we'll meet in the middle, and it was a flag.
They have not alerted the Silsby band yet. They're still playing the fight song.
Good fight song, though. They can go and play that.
Well, it's okay. It's not too bad. The Silsby Tigers, after the hold on the kickoff return, they're going to take over 1st and 10 from their own 36-yard line. Middle of the hash marks. 1:43 to go here in the second quarter, the first half. Silsby 7, your Liberty Panthers 7.
That was Draylon Miller with that return that was negated.
This time the quarterback going to pull it, going to hit a nice strike across the middle, still on his feet and escaping some tacklers. Not finally being pulled down. Fumbles the ball. May have picked it back up.
He did.
That play had all the elements of good theater right there.
Ashton Cartwright, the receiver, and it looked like for sure I looked down to get the name of the receiver and look up, and the ball's bouncing around.
Well, who has the ball? Who has the ball? And it looks like everyone is greased up there with some canola oil. No one can hang on to anyone.
59 yards on that pickup.
Button, who's got the button?
There it is, right there. Full house backfield, ball's loose, and it's going to bounce back into the quarterback's hands, and he was definitely not expecting that. It could be a loss on that play.
Fairly substantial loss.
A big loss, a beautiful, lovely loss. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 12-yard line of the Panthers. Again, we're seeing this more and more. This ball security is going to be a big factor here. Under 50 seconds to go. Panthers trying to retain this tie ball game heading into the break. And the Tigers trying to have a say about that. Full house backfield. Rolling out. Bootleg. And that is going to be knocked down. Nice defensive coverage. Number 2, Caden Nolan. And that was a good strike there, and he just came right over the top the way you're supposed to.
A great job by Nolan on playing that ball.
Going to stop the clock at the 31-second mark. Here in the second quarter, the waning moments of the first half. The Tigers scoring in the first quarter, and then the Panther defense going to work. Panthers finally scoring in the second quarter, leveling it up not too long ago. the Silsby Tigers going to take their first timeout of the half.
Yeah, they have 3rd and goal from what yardage? What yard line?
Called the 13-yard line.
I think.
Yeah, 13-yard line. And the last couple of plays on both sides has been who has the ball, where's the ball at? Are we going to hold on to the ball, Ross?
Yeah, coming out of the shotgun formation is a challenge to begin with, and then you mix in
Wet
all
ball,
this moisture
wet ground. Yeah, exactly.
and a Panther defensive line that is ready for action.
There's no doubt about that. Colby Ewing, Titus Bell, Victor Ruiz and company up there, and got some really good linebackers in there. William Waldrop, another good name. They're always getting there making plays. Let's see if they can do it again. Gonna roll to his right. Get some pressure there. Trying to throw that ball, and it's gonna be nothing. Gonna be incomplete pass. Gonna bring up 4th and goal from the 13. Stop the clock at the 25-second mark, Ross.
We're going to have our first field goal attempt, or at least the unit is coming on.
Well, I got to tell you, get your popcorn ready. Not sure what we're going to see here.
This will be a 30-yarder if he makes it.
Number 15 on to kick.
29.
No, I'm sorry. Number 15 on to hold. I'm backwards.
Yeah, it's a left-footed kicker. So
Yep.
yeah. Number what is that? 2? Number 2.
Pablo De La Olivia.
Coach is gonna put the ice on him here. Let him think about it a minute.
So as the timeout goes, this has been an interesting drive for Silsby. They thought they had a touchdown on the kick return.
The kick return, yeah, and then a 59-yard first play from scrimmage, 59-yard pass that he almost fumbles back to Liberty on the 5. It falls on it. His quarterback gets stuffed back for 8 yards. Really took the wind out of their sails. I guess it's been kind of stumbly, but like you say, the conditions are it's going to be a matter of just who can stand the conditions the best.
And it's not going to get any better.
All right, now setting up again for the 30-yard field goal, number 21 for the Tigers.
Uh-oh.
And there's going to be some movement down there.
Flag on the play.
Just gave him 5.
May have been. I wonder if there was some contact there.
Oh yeah,
If they
Oh,
gave
yeah,
him,
there was definitely contact.
I could not tell if there was contact or not.
All sides ruled against the Panthers.
Well, that's going to push them forward, and they may rethink this. I don't know.
Well, after the mark-off, yardage-wise, it's going to be shorter, but he is going to be planning and kicking from a spot that looks a little worse than the spot he was going from, so we'll see if that plays a factor.
This will be a 25-yarder if he makes it. It's just barely more than an extra point here.
And the snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is up, and it is going to be wide right. The Panther defense holds on the not successful field goal attempt at the 21-second mark here in the second quarter. The Panthers taking over on downs again.
Seen it so much tonight, and a big boost. 21 seconds left. I doubt you're going to see any great trickery here this far back in the
well, I don't know.
your
See,
own
now,
territory.
this is a bet that I might be willing to take here.
You think?
I don't know what Coach Taylor is going to come up with.
They'll try. He's got that double reverse pass that never works. I hope he doesn't try to run that. I'd like to see him try to run that run pass option that Austin gained so many yards. I meant that Caden gained so many yards on a while ago.
Well, under center for the Panthers.
Straight
And
ahead.
they're just going to push the ball forward on the QB keeper. And looks like they're just going to try to kill the clock here.
Quarterback sneaked out of the
And it's
window.
number 5, Austin Walker, with that quarterback keeper. And they will be able to kill the clock here. And that's going to do it for the first half in Silsby, Texas. 11-4A action. The Silsby Tigers 7, your Liberty Panthers 7. And we are going to go to our halftime program. When we come back, we'll be able to hear the stat rundown from Neil Thornton. Welcome, Panther Nation, to the halftime show. We're here in the middle of this, well, I don't know if it's brutal or not, but it's going to be some sort of contest between the Liberty Panthers and the Silsby Tigers. We're joined as always, well, not always, because we weren't joined by him last week, so I'm just wrong all over the place. We're joined usually and again by head coach Chad Taylor. Coach, man, last week, an explosion.
Yeah, it seemed like everything we were doing last week was working outside of that first series that we fumbled on the 3. Everything seemed to be clicking, and we did a really good job of rotating backs and keeping those guys fresh. And our offensive line was doing a great job, and as always, our defense was flying around, making plays, just causing all kind of havoc.
And havoc indeed. We talked, Ross and I were talking at the beginning about what we expected to see, and we both felt like it was going to be a very winnable game for you, and you even had said that earlier in the week. You thought it was a pretty winnable game, but I don't know that anyone really expected 7 touchdowns.
Not even I expected 7 touchdowns, but I knew we had a pretty good game plan. I knew our kids had worked hard all week, and they practiced well. We were fired up about this game, as you guys know that last year didn't go so well, and it wasn't really revenge or anything, but we definitely wanted to come out and put a little whooping on them, and that's what happened. We got on them early. They made a couple mistakes, especially on that kickoff where they just let sit in the end zone. Oh. We ran down there and fell on it and gave us another touchdown, and that put us up by 21, and then I think we kind of was able to tack on a couple more before halftime, and it felt good. I mean, it's always nice to be up 35-0 at halftime.
Yeah, he scored once in the first quarter, 4 times in the second quarter, and we'd seen the last couple of weeks where the Panther offense really kind of came to life in the second quarter, but then in the second half, a little more of a grudge match sort of going on. But this last week, that wasn't the case. Came out and had just almost a heart palpitation with that opening kickoff that was to the house, and then it wasn't to the house, and then you guys settled back in.
Well, I mean, we're going to get that. We're going to get that every week, offensively speaking. I mean, we practice a lot during the week, but we don't know what we're going to get. So normally we come out and we kind of got to fill them out to see how they're attacking us, and then we get it figured out in the second quarter, and we go in, and then they go in at halftime and they make a few adjustments, and so it's always going back and forth. We never really know what we're going to get with our with the type of offense we run. We're just real fortunate that we have a really good defense that always puts us in pretty good situations, and we're able to overcome a lot of things.
Joe, you mentioned the kickoff that the guy just let sit in the end zone. How often is that something you see?
I mean, you never really see that. I mean, but it was just, if you don't touch the ball and it crosses the goal line, it's automatically, a dead ball. But he actually touched it in the field of play, and it becomes a live ball, and he has he can still down it in the end zone, but he just ran off the field like it was a dead ball, and we didn't give up on it. Thank goodness. We ran down there, and I think old Landon Curry got him a touchdown.
Yeah, that was Landon Curry. We were trying to find the number. We don't normally call his name too much, and I guess he's playing a lot on special teams and such.
He's a special teams guy. He really got in there and got several reps on defense. I mean, he really does. I mean, he can hit you pretty good, and he got a couple good licks in that second half that kind of put a couple guys out. So, I'm excited for him. He didn't give up on that play, and he got him a touchdown. Got his name in the newspaper.
That's right. That's one of those super heads-up play by him.
Absolutely.
And I know I was up there, and I really wasn't expecting it. And I think Neil and I were both saying, did he just touch that? Because they were starting to walk away, and the Panthers just kept on going. That was pretty awesome.
I was right there and saw him touch it.
He looked like me fielding a ground ball, really. I don't really field a whole lot of ground balls, but he missed it, and we jumped on it. I mean, it was really a momentum type deal because, I mean, you go from 14 up to 21 up, and, you know, I mean, it was on after that.
There were a couple of things that I saw at the beginning, and then it kind of popped up a few other times. In that first drive, there were a couple of exchanges, and it looked like the Hawks' defensive tackle, nose guard, I don't know, was getting his hands in there. Was he tripping up Caden?
Oh, they were diving in there
Okay.
and grabbing his feet, and you know, this week we went in there and kind of got a little bit of a split between our guard and center because the guards have been running into him. He hadn't been getting out of the way, so by doing that, it kind of opened up a little doorway for them to kind of dive in there and grab his foot, and that can't happen. I mean, it really can't.
Yeah, no doubt.
One thing that has been at home, at least, the field conditions with the dew and slick football. How do you work on that? Is there anything you would do in practice?
There's no dew at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on, but
You're not bringing out the water hose
every
or
time
anything
we
like
come
that?
out in the second half, the last couple of weeks has been. I mean, it looks like I just woke up at 6 a.m. You know, so I mean, it's like that for both of us. So we're getting no advantage or disadvantage.
Coach, let's talk about that defense. I know we talked about 7 touchdowns, but let's talk about the donut
Yeah.
that they put on the scoreboard. You got some good kids out there, and let's start with 44, Colby Ewing. Man, he seemed to be everywhere on Friday.
He's always around the ball. I mean, and the defense really is set up for that guy to make plays, and I mean he's done a great job. You know, I feel like William Waldrop has been really dominant the last couple of weeks. Bo Fowler, since we inserted him in the starting lineup against Madisonville, I think he's been pretty. He seems to always be around the ball, but you know, same can be said for Quentin Johnson and Caleb Chandler and Titus Bell, and I thought Titus played a lot better this past week because we got him off of offense, you know, quite a bit. So, you know, that's what we're going to have to do going forward.
Okay.
You know, Silsby's an excellent football team. Got more talent than anybody around, even probably more than West Orange Stark. He's got about 15 sophomores on this group. A couple years back when this group was in the 7th and 8th grade, you know, the group ahead of them, 2 of the best groups of kids I've seen, athletically speaking, at the junior high level. And now they're sophomores and juniors, and so, I mean.
This was that group that had these grown
Wide receivers.
looking men that were out there. It seemed like they were just monsters out there at the middle school.
So here they are in high school now, and you're going to see them. And I mean, number 1 looks like DK Metcalf, you know, for Seattle. That's how big he is. But you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we're starting off 0-0, and we want to give ourselves a chance to enter in the 4th quarter. So.
Let's talk about what you're going to throw at them, Coach. If we went to Vegas, 7's a super lucky number, right? You've got 7 guys that you've been rolling through that running back or the multiple running back positions that you have.
No, we did. We had 7 ball carriers the other day. 6 of them had 6 carries or more. You know, so it was not the most carries was Caden with 9, and then I think Austin might have had 4, but for the most part, you know, we were dishing it out pretty equal. I'm not going to act like that's going to continue. You know, if one guy gets hot, if Jolin gets hot, Jolin's getting the football. I mean, if Valtier gets hot, then Valtier's getting the football. So we've got to figure that out early and see if they can stop us.
You know, we both talked about how little we thought you'd throw the football, and the last couple of weeks, you have had those guys just really. I mean, you've been finding wide open guys for touchdowns, quick strike plays. It seemed like you were able to determine pretty quickly that Hardin Jefferson was not going to be able to cover Mason.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, the touchdown that he caught is a play we call Roger Switch, and I've never caught it in a game, but I knew they were coming. as soon as I seen them with 2 safeties, I knew I wanted them to run switch because I knew the 2 safeties would run with the 2 tight ends on the corner route. And, you know, I just got lucky. And we made a great throw and a great catch. And then we turned right back around and threw another touchdown to Fontenot. And if you remember, early on we threw a pass to Mason, and we had 2 guys wide open in the middle of the field. So we came back, we ran that same exact play, and I just told him to throw it to the backside guy. And, I mean, he was wide open again. So, I mean, in our offense, we run. And you just got to kind of pick and choose when you do throw it. But probably 9 times out of 10, we're going to be wide open.
Coach, your spirit animal is not even an animal. I think it's an Old West gunfighter. You roll the dice like how many times have we talked about, oh, it's 4th and, 500. Coach Taylor sends the offense out there and you're ready to go. Now, is that – I know that's not because you don't trust the punter. Is it you just trust the offense that much?
Well, I mean, I feel like we're designed to go get 3 or 4 yards almost every play. And no, I mean, sometimes I second guess myself, but and we do got a good punter, and now that we're snapping the ball a lot better, I probably ought to play the field position game a little bit more. But I feel like if we can get a first down, I could probably eat up 3 or 4 more minutes and keep their offense off the field, and they're going to have a hard time scoring if they're on the sideline.
Yeah, the Iceman is back. Brian Montez. He is money. You sent him out there for a field goal. That was a long field goal, though.
About 45 yards, I think.
And he had the distance, right?
Plenty of distance.
It was just wide left.
Missed it by about a foot or 2.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be. Yeah, I mean, we may need us a field goal come Friday, so he'll be ready. I'm glad to have him back, and I think now Jade's going to kind of settle in as our punter and let Montez take care of all of our kicking, and I think that's that's going to make us a pretty good team.
All right, Coach.
Jaden has really stepped up. Some of the punts that he's had this year. How does that help you?
Well, it changes field position. So I mean, the week before against Shepherd, he got off about a 57, 58-yard punt, completely flipped the field, and I mean, no, he's been pretty valuable the last 3 or 4 games, and Madisonville, we didn't have a punter, didn't have a snapper, and so we didn't punt at all. And I'm kind of glad he came out the following week, and then so yeah, I mean it's worked out really well. I'm glad he came out. He's a great kid, and he's just a positive positive influence on our sideline. So I told him, I said, I don't plan on punting tonight. He goes, I'm fine with that, Coach. So
Well, Coach, things have been bouncing your way as of late, and we hope it continues. You're watching the halftime show. Coming up next, the second half kickoff. Your Liberty Panthers, the Silsby Tigers. We'll see you after the game.
Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton on stats, producer Richard Ewing, and Ross, we have been watching some kind of something between the Silsby Tigers and your Liberty Panthers.
When you have this much water on the field on a natural playing surface, it's going to cause these kinds of problems. And we've seen it, problem snap for Liberty on a punt. There have been a couple of exchange issues with Liberty that have led to turnovers and a couple that they've been able to recover. Silsbee's had some problems and some penalties. Silsbee's had some big penalties that have really cost them some touchdowns. One specifically on that last drive they had where they thought they had a kick return, but a hold brought it back, and the Panther defense able to sustain and prevent a score, even though they got it down to about the 3-yard line.
Panthers coming into this 11-4A contest, riding a 4-game win streak, 4-1 on the season, 3-1 in non-district, and then the big 49-0 win against the Hardin-Jefferson Hawks last weekend at War Memorial Stadium. And your Liberty Panthers with 12:46 to go on the halftime scoreboard, trying to get the ship righted or come up with a new game plan, although what they were doing there in the second quarter seemed to be working for them. The Liberty Panthers trying to get the win tonight and go to 2-0 on the year in District 11-4A, and what a tough district it is, Ross.
Very tough district. Orangefield's going to be a tough opponent next week. They took down Silsbee last week, and so Silsbee looking to even their district record, a position they're not accustomed to being in.
No, they're usually used to being the leaders of this district along with West Orange Stark, and perhaps this up-and-coming Panther team is going to have something to say about that. Neil, are you ready for the stat rundown?
I can do that. Talking about being Ross has kind of broken the ice there on the penalties. Silsbee has been penalized 4 times for 38 yards, but Liberty's been penalized 4 times for 30 yards. So the penalties are about even as far as yardage goes, but the timeliness of it it really took the wind out of Silsbee's sails. Liberty's only gained 82 yards. Caden Nolan is 0 for 1 passing. They've run the ball 17 times for 82 yards. Leading rusher so far is Austin Walker, and that 46-yarder had a lot to do with that. He's rushed the ball 8 times for 66 yards. On Silsbee's side of the ball, 136 yards on, 27 plays. Their quarterback, what's your quarterback's name? Mason Brisbane is 3 for 10 passing for 67 yards. They fumbled once and did not lose it. Scoring, do we want to do a scoring drive? Scoring summaries are just 2 of them.
Take it away.
Draylon Miller scored on the first play from scrimmage on a 46-yard pass from Brisbane. PAT was good, 7-0 at the 3:31 mark of quarter number 1. Liberty finally gets on the board at the 1:56 mark of quarter number 2. Jalen Curtis goes in from the 1, goes skidding in from the 1. I thought that was kind of cool. He ran in and did a hook slide in the end zone. Runs and PAT was good, and the score 7-7 at halftime.
All right, thank you for that, Neil Thornton. Liberty Panthers Sports Network, Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton on stats, producer Richard Ewing. On cameras tonight, we have Alan Parga, Alejandro Minivar, Tanis Grimes, and Oscar Cicada doing some producing duties alongside Richard Ewing, the young producer in training. And again, we're here in Silsbee TX, 11-4A action. I want to thank our sponsors again. Attorney at Law Emily Cook, the scoreboard sponsor, and our first, I'm going to call it a major sponsor, sponsoring the starting lineup, the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, serving Liberty since 2007. And we're getting ready to make a turn or so, as it were. Your Liberty Panther cross-country teams headed to Dayton tomorrow for the cross-country meet, and then the following 2 weeks they're going to be running on Thursdays. They're going to be going to Huffman and running the Lake Houston Invitational, and then going to be hosting the District 21-4A District Championships at the Liberty City Park on Thursday, October 14th in the morning. That'll be a fun one. And then the Panther Band headed to PNG tomorrow for a pre-UIL contest where they're going to get to put their show on display as they get set to head to actual UIL marching contest later on this month. I think that's in maybe 2 weeks, perhaps, Ross?
I believe that's correct. I think that's what Sean Smith said. Nice little warm-up for them coming up tomorrow.
Coach Roberts, are you taking a junior high team to Dayton tomorrow?
Indeed we are. We're going to be running a junior high team, and we're going to be running actually, we're going to be running all teams tomorrow. We're going to start, I think the girls run first, and they're going to be running about 8:50, and then the boys will run after that. And I could have that flip-flop, but I don't think I do.
Is that still a 1 mile loop?
Yeah, it is a big 1 mile. It's going to be muddy tomorrow.
Very muddy. We've done that before when I was coaching, and the junior high kids were running a lot of times well above the tops of their socks. Tell your junior high kids if they'll take a piece of duct tape and tape their shoes on behind the ball of their feet, they won't lose their shoes. Otherwise, that old black land mud in Dayton will be sucking off nice, expensive running shoes and don't name them to Dayton ISD.
No doubt about that. If you have not checked out LHS Live, you are missing a treat. This last Wednesday, had the opportunity to sit down with Bill Buchanan, one of the kind of forerunners of what we're doing right now, the longtime owner-operator of KSHN radio station. And you can find that on LHSlive.net every Wednesday at 9:30 to 10 a.m. A different guest. This coming week, we're going to be sitting down with Coach John Stelly, who will be talking to us about all things health-related or so. And then, of course, if you continue to check out our channel, you should be able, probably this weekend, no later than Monday. Ross did a really great piece on the cross-country team and the Tony Munson Invitational, and that will be up on our YouTube page as well.
Probably by tonight.
It could be tonight. You're right. It could be tonight. It's already cut. We just have to put it on there. It's been one of those gangbuster busy days that we've had, and now with 6:42 to go, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Ross. Second half play-by-play going to be Ross Norwood, and then I'm going to switch over to color commentary. And, of course, our resident old man, Neil Thornton, going to continue to do the stats.
3-1.
I got to get him in while I can get him in.
Thank you, Joe. I just experienced something that I was worried I might, and that was I may be getting a new cell phone.
Oh, yeah?
It just fell through the bleachers.
Oh, no.
And so Joe is actually going to go run down
go
right
retrieve.
now
Okay.
and retrieve it and put fuel in our generator. Over here on the visitor's side, we didn't have any power. Richard Ewing bringing his generator to keep us powered up. And, I wasn't sure, it's under the stands, and we were able to park
right beside it,
so you could keep the backup battery in the school van in case it was going to keep raining. And it's during halftime, I saw right at the beginning, it looked like maybe it was sprinkling a little bit more.
It's way better than it was all day long today. There were some real hard rains. Talking about the cell phone going through and the generator and all that reminds me of a Bill Buchanan story. And then we were talking about Bill Buchanan. If you think about a school the size of Liberty having a live broadcast of their football game, every football game that they've had since Buchanan showed up in Liberty, Texas back in 1977, and he'd never missed a game until he finally completely laid it down, and then he sold the station, of course, last year. And this is, like you said, this is just an outgrowth of a tradition that he started almost 50 years ago now.
Well, I'll say this. I would not be here doing this game if not for Bill Buchanan, who gave me an opportunity, as well as Joe and yourself.
Yeah.
And, what's incredible, Neil, and we've seen it, but most people have not, is what goes in setting these things up. And technology has evolved in a way now that it makes things a little easier as far as equipment-wise. But for so many years when he was doing it, he had to get on with the phone company.
Yes.
Before going every stadium and getting a phone loop so that he could send the broadcast back.
Right. And then you remember he had the split when I was working for him, I guess probably the first 5 or 6 years. I think I've been doing this since either 2000, 2009 or 2010. First 5 or 6 years, he was still doing the split broadcast, the left side, right side with Dayton. And then as it went online, the other teams went online. Liberty was actually on the air, and the other teams were online. But yeah, it's been it was amazing to get this to get it set up and get it running every single time we went someplace. And like you say, going off to the hinterlands from time to time was a little bit dicey.
One story, Neil, I remember, and I think it probably was in the 80s or 90s, but they were in a press box, and they were on top of a press box, and it was freezing cold, and they had to dangle their feet over the side and sit with the equipment in their lap.
The story I was thinking about the generator, we were at West Orange Stark here about 08 or 09, whenever it was that Bill had fallen and broken his leg. So West Orange Stark's maintenance department had built us a stage on the visitor side, and we had an actual, right in the middle of the visitor side, we had a booth. It didn't have a roof on it, but we were about 7 or 8 rows up, real nice plywood facility that they'd made. But like Liberty, they didn't have power. So we were plugged into a generator, and the generator was behind the fence, and the wire was running, and all of a sudden we looked down and everything was dead. And the lock on the fence was locked. And not to be deterred, I went over the gate, restarted the generator, and we had power for the rest of the night.
I was going to say, it was either you or Bill that went over that.
No, Bill couldn't. He had a broken leg.
Oh, that's right.
He was sitting there with a hard cast on.
Liberty Panthers coming out of the inflatable Panther head as Silsby now comes out. Getting ready for the start of the second half. It's Richard Ewing told us that right before we got back on the air that, we're starting over again.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where we are with Liberty taking the opening kickoff. Basically, it's just the second game with Liberty taking the opening kickoff. And, Liberty has, this year most especially, but even about half of last year, has been able to make those adjustments at halftime. The coaching staff does an excellent job analyzing the other team, seeing what needs to be done. It might not be that they open up the splits between the offensive line 6 inches. They may do the same thing on the defensive line. Bring somebody up. A couple games ago they were running what looked to be the old flex defense that the Dallas Cowboys used to run. They'll make some kind of little small adjustment, and it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't have Silsby's number come second half.
Liberty getting to receive, and did we decide that 22 was Fontenot?
21. I guess it's Fontenot.
Oh, 20.
Because there's not a 15. I guess
22 is Valtierra.
Yeah, it's always Valtierra. But 15, I don't see a 15 on the sideline, so I guess that's Fontenot. Maybe they don't have a 15 in the gray jerseys.
That could also be it. Valtierra on the deep man on the near side. On the far side, Jolin Curtis getting ready as Silsby has yet to take the field and break the huddle to get this second half underway.
They got 9 seconds to do it in, and it's delay a game, if they call it, which they probably won't.
Here they come now as the
All right, we're getting set for the second half kickoff.
head linesman
Pablo de Oliver
brings the ball over. Olivia, I don't know why I messed that up.
You're taking your cue from the field announcer. He messed it up too.
Is back to kick. Checks his guys, make sure he has everybody in order, and sends this kick off. It's going to go down the far side of the hash and fielded by Mason Godot, who went down immediately, losing his footing.
Just slipped down immediately. As soon as he touched the ball, he slipped down. So, but cleanly handled. Nice sure hands. Mason Godot got nice sure hands here. Looked like they're going to spot the ball about the 20, was that the 23, 22?
Yeah, that definitely looks right over there. talking about it, he is the top Liberty rusher coming into this game with 53 carries and 336 yards on the ground.
And he hadn't carried the ball from out of the backfield tonight. Not yet.
Also the leading receiver.
Right.
With 4 catches for
they're going to kick it again.
Yards.
I wonder what the deal is here.
They were offsides.
I see.
Oh, look, I see my phone.
Now, second question is, does it work?
It does work.
How about that?
And Joe Roberts called me 3 minutes ago.
I did. You are a lucky, lucky man. I went down there. I couldn't find it on the ground. It actually landed on top of the back loader that
That's why it's not muddy.
Yeah.
I was afraid it would land in a puddle of mud.
Well, I was looking in the puddle of mud, and I couldn't find it. And then I'm like, oh, I had to crawl all the way up on those big tires to get on the top of it.
See, young men like yourself can do that. Old folks like me, you wouldn't want to send me, right?
I think the fuel level was good, Mr. Ewing.
Second attempt at the kick, and this one is a boomer fielded by Valtierra, who's going to run straight forward and into about the 37-yard line, Neil.
Looks like it. Maybe let's see exactly where they put the down box, but I think it'll be the 37.
If you'll forgive me, Mr. Norwood, I'm going to need to take a breather here.
Absolutely.
My youngness.
Joe, you can do whatever you need to do. You just saved me probably $1,000 for a new phone.
Send your check to Joe Roberts, care of.
We're going to call that the 38, I guess. It's actually 37 and a half. Right squarely between the 40 and the 35.
Austin Walker comes back out under center. One back behind him, Titus Bell. This ball is pitched out to Jolin Curtis, who runs to the near side trying to get around on the corner, but is pushed out. He does pick up some positive yardage, though.
Hey, I would be remiss if I did not mention the Lady Panther volleyball team. They're in the middle of a nice run in district. I believe they're sitting at 4-2 at the conclusion of the round one. Had a bye tonight, and then they're going to be at home on Tuesday, where they're going to be hosting the Hampshire Finette Lady Horns.
Got a bad block here, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a flag at about the 40-yard line.
If you didn't watch them on Tuesday, they had a monster three-set sweep of the Hardin-Jefferson Lady Hawks, as it were. It was a big win for the Lady Panthers.
That was a big game. Talking with Coach Anderson a couple of weeks ago after that Shepherd game. That was the next game up, and they were really focusing on that Hardin-Jefferson game as something that could really springboard the rest of their district.
I think they dropped the game to Huffman and dropped the game to Splendora, but even in that they played pretty well.
Titus Bell behind Austin Walker. They're going to try this one again. Curtis tries to go outside but cuts back in. And a late flag comes in.
I think he had him around. I think the linebacker or defensive end, what it is from the other side, had the ball carrier around the neck. Let's see if they're calling a horse collar.
That flag coming in late, so you wouldn't think holding.
I think it was something on the tackle.
I was thinking face mask or
personal foul.
Yep, face mask is the call there. I couldn't quite see the face mask, but I knew he was pretty close in the way he went down.
Had him up around the head, exactly, so we knew it was something to do with it. So they've traded 15-yard penalties here on consecutive plays.
Well, big shout out to Ethan Flowers, Patrick Flowers' father. He's got the game on the big screen TV tonight at the house in Devers. We went international last week, and
we're international this week.
We call that, international.
Had a chance to talk to Patrick after the cross-country meet. You can see that in that story that will be posted later tonight or tomorrow. Walker drops back, throws, has Mason Goodo open and in and out of his hands. That would have been a huge completion as Goodo had that one come in and out of his hands about the 35-yard line of Silsby.
He's going to be thinking about that one for a while. We've talked about the wet conditions, and that was just an example of that. That went into his hands, and it would be hard-pressed for anyone to come up with that.
I would not imagine the way that one was coming in. He had to come back on it just a little bit.
And
Yeah, he did. He had turned completely around, but he had plenty of room. He had his defender beat by about 3 or 4 yards.
so an incompletion brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers from their 40-yard line. Pitch back to Curtis, who cuts up the middle. Ball comes loose at about the 45-yard line and recovered by Silsby. So a turnover for Liberty, and Silsby will start with wonderful field position in their own territory.
Yeah, it's something that you definitely aren't looking forward to. And I feel like we've talked about it ad nauseum. It's going to be a condition that they're going to have to deal with. Both teams are dealing with the same thing there. That was a great cut that Curtis had up the middle. And with that slick ball, you've just got to do everything in your power. And even when you do that, who knows if it's going to come out or not.
Yeah, just kind of popped the ball out there. So Silsby comes on. Handoff to Dodd, who comes to the near side. Is going to try to get around the corner and can't. Maybe gets the line of scrimmage before being pushed out by Colby Ewing.
Well, young Mr. Ewing is certainly a showman. He's been all over the field tonight on defense. Another great defensive touch from that young man and the rest of the squad there. They're doing a really wonderful job of keeping this Panther team up and in the ball game.
And they have had some circumstances field position-wise where they've really had to hold strong. Brisbane back in, fires down the middle of the field, and it is deflected.
Oh, that was great coverage.
Johnson.
Linebacker Quentin Johnson right there, right in the flat area, right where he needed to be. Great coverage by the Panther defense.
Almost got a hand on it to try to make possession there, but was able to deflect it. That ball would have been complete had he not had that deflection. Manny Freeman checks in.
You can tell Titus Bell on the screen right now, number 33. He's been getting to it. His gray uniform is almost totally black from that mud.
3rd down and about 9.
Uh-oh.
Snap is low on the ground, picks it up, throws down the field, and it is intercepted. Intercepted. Is that
Mason?
No,
Jaden?
That is number 2, Caden Nolan.
Caden Nolan. I
Okay.
said Jaden Nolan.
Oh, Barnum and Bailey right there. That
It
was a
was.
circus catch.
That's
What
the
a-
best catch of the night. It just happened to be on the defense.
What a fantastic catch, able to keep possession as he did that off his feet. He had to leave his feet to get that one and started going down and was able to maintain the possession. So Liberty will take over the ball.
But
The bad news is they're on their 10-yard line.
10-yard line.
I will tell you what, if you're listening at home, if you're ready to sponsor the replay option that we could do, we're ready to field phone calls and emails. REUing at libertyisd.net, and perhaps we can replay that back for you. That was a wonderful, wonderful defensive catch right there from Nolan.
Ball pitched back to Curtis. No, that's Bankhead. Bankhead is wrapped up behind the line of
forward.
scrimmage as he was trying to get around the near side corner.
No, that was Curtis.
Was it?
Yeah, Bankhead's on the sideline.
Okay.
That 3 and that 1 and that uniform
When they
looks
get at
so
that
similar.
angle, it
And,
can be tough.
Bankhead's about a foot taller than Joel and
Well,
Curtis.
I thought so, but then I thought I saw one, and
Everybody's about a foot taller than Jalen Curtis.
Oh, I think he's a foot taller than I am, though.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, we're about the same. I'm going to give myself the same height as Curtis.
back under center is Austin Walker. It is a straight run by Walker, who gets the ball and tries to get up the middle, and he is going to get – he's still loose! He's got a first down before being drugged down. That was a scrum. It didn't look like it was going to pick up a few yards,
18
but no
yards,
whistle.
18 yards on a rugby scrum for a first down, y'all.
We call that a pig and a poke right there. You oil them up and see who can go where. Wow, he popped out of there pretty fast. I cannot believe that. We're seeing a lot of stuff tonight like that.
It got out of the hole.
I'm getting ready to turn back to you for
I had no comment on that one. Nothing.
and then all of a sudden I see him.
That was nice.
I was already down, already had my head down, was marking down numbers over here. Looked up, and he's still running.
Just under 10 minutes to play in the third quarter, and Walker down tying his shoe after that run.
You're watching Liberty Panthers Sports Network.
Timeout.
Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton.
We
Producer
have a
Richard
timeout. Liberty.
Liberty.
And so they will.
There's that clock.
9:41 left. If you're wondering, the Super Walmart across the highway from us is busy in Silsby on a Friday night. They're not all here at the game.
Probably half the town works over there. I don't know. Silsby's got a pretty good sized school district, but the town is not that populated.
Doesn't look from my vantage point like there's a lot of good parking spots available, so you may want to wait longer to go to the Silsby Walmart.
Mr. Ewing and I were commenting at the beginning of the game, you do realize the strongest man in the world is from here.
I thought I heard you say that.
Mark Henry. I don't know if he's still the strongest man in the world or not, but at one time he qualified.
Yeah, at one point he definitely was up there on the Mount Rushmore of. He's probably still on the Mount Rushmore of strongmen.
Former Silsby Tiger.
Oh, he was something to watch.
So coming out of the timeout.
Getting foggy on the field, y'all. I hope we don't pull another Hardin Jefferson from a few years ago.
Walker is under center. Curtis goes in motion, gets the pitch back, cuts back inside, and is wrapped up immediately.
Nice job there by the Tiger defense.
And that is going to be they're going to give him the line of scrimmage or maybe a yard.
No, he was at the 25. No, the line of scrimmage was the 25. Yeah, he lost one.
Lost one, okay. The down box was a little late moving.
They don't know how much we depend on them.
And it makes it even more difficult without hash marks.
I know, very much.
So after that, it'll be second down and say 11 here. Curtis goes in motion. Walker drops back, throws down the middle of the field, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by Silsby.
You know, that was a nice spiral there. He just hung that up a little bit. Not 100% certain that was that Bo Fowler out there? Or no, was that Mason Goodo over there looking for that? See, those 9s and 7s are getting me now.
Davion Garrett with the interception. And Silsby starts their next possession at the 40-yard line, at the Panther 40-yard line. Watching at home, you can see the fog is rolling in. It's cooled down a little bit, but that humidity is still biting. Drop back. Pass complete on the far side at about the 31-yard line, and the receiver is going to get inside the 30 down to about 27-yard line.
One of the things that the Panther defenders are doing that's a little concerning for me, they're trying to get these decleaters instead of just wrapping up, and it's hard enough to wrap up as it is with these slick conditions.
The completion by Brisbane.
Makes him 4 for 12 on the night.
Brisbane. He drops back again, looks to the far side of the field. He's got a receiver open but overthrown.
Yeah,
and it is incomplete.
He was throwing that off his back foot. He had pressure in his face immediately. Actually, a little surprised that he was able to get that ball away.
Yeah, he had a face full of Titus Bell there.
Manny Freeman comes back into the game. He'll be on the line. Third down and about 10 yards to go for Silsby. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. High snap, pulled back down, handed off to Dodd, who tries to get around the corner, coming to the near side, and he is going to maybe get back to the line of scrimmage.
Maybe.
His Panther defense did a great job of stringing him down the line and not letting him turn the corner, Ross.
And that is not going to be back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to go backwards, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
Sure did, didn't he?
Yeah, he was pushed deep when he first took the ball. He had to drop below, was that the 35-yard line to try to come and turn back up, and he was just not able to do that. You know, you got some quick defensive linemen who are getting in there and just stringing plays out. Makes it tough.
That is interesting, Joe. Looking at the down box, that last play, the down box said it was 3rd down. After that play, it's 3rd down. So
It is 3rd down, actually.
Bruce Brady drops back, swings the pass. More pressure by Titus Bell, and is hit as this pass goes incomplete over on the far side of the field.
Yeah, that's the stuff of nightmares right there.
You know, an interesting thing on the stats, the only runner that they've got in positive yardage is Marquise Dodd. He's carried the ball 16 times for 81 yards. They got 148 yards of offense, and nobody else is in the positive realm, so the rest of the yards are all in the air. But he's been pretty much their ground game.
So 4th down and 11. They will be going for it here.
We need this ball back.
Empty backfield. Drops back, pressure. It is in and out of the hands.
Even on a soft field, you can hear footsteps coming, and he knew he was fit to get his clock clean.
Jacoby Elam was the intended receiver, and that one was incomplete. Another turnover on downs for Silsby.
Yeah, that was Cade Nolan there with the coverage who was ready to lay the lumber had he caught that.
So even with the mistake, Liberty comes back up with the ball in decent field position.
Their last drive began at their own 10-yard line, and after a
and ended up
run
at the 20 at the we started on the 10 before, so I guess we in the swap we gained about almost 15 yards.
High snap pulled back down by Austin Walker, who comes up the middle, and he's going to pick up maybe 5 yards.
Let's see.
You know, the Panthers have such a great thing going. They've got a whole bunch of kids that are very similarly sized, and they're able to run them in and out of those backfield spots. And then they've got 2 great ones in Caden Nolan and Austin Walker that can kind of interchange at the quarterback spot. Makes it kind of dangerous to prepare for them.
Well, between that and their stable of 7 running backs.
7 running backs,
Last week had seven people out of the backfield. Nobody, every one of them was in double figures. Nobody went over 100, but everybody was in double figures.
This ball handed off to Curtis, who's going to come up the middle, or is that Godot?
I think it was Jalen Curtis.
And out goes number 3.
Yeah.
Yep, Curtis, and he is going to be
close to
a 1st down.
So they're going back against their pull, which is confusing for a defensive unit. You saw Big Juan Sanchez, and I forget who that was next to him. Maybe is that Joe Garcia that's right next to him? They were pulling from the right, and they took some defenders with them, which allowed that to happen.
3rd down and a long 1 for Liberty. Walker under center. He is going to keep this one. And he is
waiting on him.
going to get really close.
They may have to pull the chains out on this one. It's going to bring it 4th and extremely short if he doesn't have it.
And they got it.
Oh,
First
okay.
down.
Referee signals
Got his
a
one.
1st down.
Got his one.
Oh, that's really. I'm surprised they didn't bring that out to measure that.
It was going to be close. Neil, you said it. He was met right there.
They were waiting on it. They knew where it was coming. That's 11 carries for 90 yards for Austin for the night. So that's a pretty good average.
Panthers back to the line. Tight set. This ball pitched back to Curtis, who comes over to the near side. Cuts back inside.
Oh, there's going to be some flag.
Come on.
How is there not a flag on that?
And not
Lord have
sure.
mercy.
And we have an injured Panther down, and not sure. He grabbed him by, it looked like the neck, and jerked him down.
He had him around the neck. Now, I know horse collaring is illegal, and you know that face mask is illegal, but maybe around the neck is not.
Well, that was neither of those two things. That was, and we have the advantage of having it right there on the camera. But, man, that seemed to happen right in front of the head linesman.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, close to a first down, 2nd down and 2. Caden Nolan comes in under center, snaps the ball, and he is going to pick up a good chunk of yards, good enough for another first down.
And I want to highlight number 22, Valtiera, on that previous play. He was the one that came through there and spilled the defender that allowed Curtis to get through and pick up those 9 yards on that last carry. A really nice block by him.
.506 on the clock as we wait for it to be, as the referee now is winding it. 3rd quarter, tie game, 7-7 in Silsby. 2nd district game for Liberty. Nolan back in at quarterback. Gets the snap, pitches it back to Bankhead. Bankhead runs to the outside and is going to be met behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll be a loss of 1 and bring up 2nd down.
I think they're going to just about give him the line here. Let's see if we move the down box at all.
Actually, they're going to give him a yard.
Sure did they?
They're going to split the difference. Did he lose it? Did he get back to the middle? Did he get a yard? What do you say, button? Who's got the button?
Got the button. 2nd down and 9 now, under 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Liberty in Silsby territory. Nolan under center. This ball pitched back to Curtis, comes onto the near side. Waiting for his blocks, has his block, cuts back. As he gets close to the sideline, cuts back, and he is going to pick up very close to another first down.
I think they're going to give him about the 39 on that, so that'll be about another 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, Austin Walker out there leading the way. And then following number 50, Zach Davis as well. So patient out of the backfield to wait for that block to happen.
You know, it takes a lot of maturity to do that. That's not something you can, kid wants to turn up and go. He just wants to hit the jets and go. And he's watching that develop in front of him, waits on those good players to get out in front of him, makes that yardage.
3rd down and short.
Uh-oh. Get on the ball.
And immediately coming through the line and knocking the ball out of Caden Nolan's hand and back for a big loss, but it is recovered by Jolin Curtis.
Watching that in real time, that Tiger defender, man, he did a great job of getting his hand in there and just ripping, knowing that the ball is kind of slick. And Curtis, man, that's such a heads-up play to be right there, to just jump on the ball, not try to pick it up, and just contain the damage.
So it brings up a 4th and about 11 yards. Jaden Shemp is coming on to punt.
That's a shame, because that was turning out to be a pretty nice little clock-chewing drive. Let's get a good snap here.
Miller, the deep man. Low line drive punt, and it is going to keep rolling as it goes inside the 20-yard line before Nolan downs it.
Kicked it right off his toe, but he got it out of there.
Barely over the line of scrimmage.
Oh, horseshoes and hand
Shemp.
grenades.
Yeah.
He did it right there. That ended up being a nice Panther punt.
Flips the field.
Let's get another good defensive stand here and make those yards with the special teams. That's what we've done the last 2 possessions.
No scoring on that drive for Liberty, but Joe, how important was it for them to have a sustained drive there?
I'll give that defense a break. That's very important, and we'll see that play out in the 4th quarter, I'm sure.
Ball is not handed off. Drops back, throws deep down the field. He has Miller wide open. Not wide open, but open, and he will walk into the end zone for a touchdown.
And you see how dangerous that young man is. Doesn't have a bunch of catches, but when he touches the ball, good things happen for the Tigers.
84-yard pass and catch.
That would go for the longest catch for him this year coming into this game. It was 74 yards.
That's actually his first reception of the night. The other one that he had, was called back.
That's correct. So like that on one play, it is a 13-7 game, Silsby, as we await the extra point. Snap is back, it is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. And it is 14-7 Silsby.
Yeah, they
with
changed
2:10 left.
They changed kickers that time. They went from the lefty to the righty, number 17. You know, there's not a bunch you can do defensively when, and he's a tall young man as well, right over the top, and they hit him in stride too, and that's the most important thing. You didn't have to slow down.
And Brisbane was hit.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of pressure. In fact, I lost it. I thought they sacked him, and I didn't realize that he got the ball away.
And now down 7 with 2:10 in the third quarter.
Score here, I'm sure that Chad will go for 2 if we can sustain another drive and go down there and don't have the misfortune of a fumble.
How many turnovers, Neil, for Liberty tonight?
3. Let me see. Fumble 4 times, lost 3, and 1 interception, so 4 altogether.
Valtierra and Curtis, the 2 deep men, they stand just inside their 10-yard line, actually 15-yard line. Ball is going to be kicked to Curtis on the far side, fielded by Godot, who is going to try to cut back across the field. He does over to the near side, and he is through a block, but there's a flag down, and he will
run it out anyway.
Get across the 10-5 and touchdown. But in all likelihood, this one is going to come back as there is a flag inside.
That was a 75, 76-yard return if they would have let it stand.
Couple of flags down.
Maybe they'd be offsetting.
I think they're probably going to be for the same thing, and it is going to be a hold against Liberty.
Blocking the back.
Yeah, he threw that pretty immediately when when Godot got over there near him.
So that is now Liberty has a kick return called back. And Silsby has a kick return called
and
back.
A pass called back.
10 yards to be stepped off against the Panthers.
Starting at this spot right here, starting at the 43, so they'll get the ball on the 33-yard line. But still, that's 10 more yards on the penalties.
Liberty with 1:57 in the third quarter, down 14-7.
I think that's 55 yards worth of penalties for Liberty so far.
Nolan back under center. Ball is pitched back to Jolan Curtis, and it is a little trouble with the catch on the pitch.
Well, it was mishandled from the center, too. He kind of dribbled it a little and picked it up and pitched it back to Jolan and pitched it high.
And they go the wrong way.
What did they lose, 4 yards?
I think if Liberty could have back the multitude of mishandles, missnaps, misplays, they might have a lead right now. This is probably the most that we've seen them. Of course, the conditions have been the worst that they've been all season long.
Austin Walker under center. And he is hit trying to hand the ball off. It comes loose, but he is able to jump on it in another loss. And that will bring up third down and an eternity.
Yeah, he lost another. They're at the 30. Now they're back to the 23. So -7.
I'm glad you said eternity, Ross, because I have Country Mile trademarked.
I don't want to be sued.
That's right.
Scoreboard says 3rd and 14, but
if
don't
only.
think that's correct.
14 to get back to the original line of scrimmage almost. It's closer to it's what, 21-22?
I think so. I think. They need the 40. Dropping back, tries to throw, pulls it down. Walker going to keep running, and he will pick up some positive yardage on the near side, but not nearly enough for a first down.
Bring it out too.
That's probably going to do it for the third quarter, I would imagine.
Yeah, they're not going to try to rush a punt, and that will do it. We move to the fourth quarter. Liberty trails Silsby 14-7 on the Liberty Panther Sports Network. Ross Norwood, Joe Roberts, Neil Thornton, Richard Ewing, MacGyver.
Producer extraordinaire. I want to thank all of our viewers watching at home, and don't forget you can share this link if you're watching. Share it with your friends, family. They can watch this retroactively on panthersports.com.
Wake the kids, wake the neighbors.
Sports with a Z on the end.
That's right,
folks.
with a Z. It's almost a $2,400 savings with the Z, and it sounds cool.
Our producer just pointed out if they're listening, they are aware that it is a Z.
Maybe they are, maybe they are not. I don't know.
So the fourth quarter just about ready to be underway.
Our producer's always giving us the obvious answers, always. Never lets us get there on our own.
Jaden Shump is going to be out to punt on this fourth down.
In days.
Yeah, they're going to say 16 on the board. This ball punted, lined. They're going to get away from it as it rolls Liberty's way inside the 40-yard line down
Looks like the Tigers will take over first
to about the, what, Neil, is that?
37, I think. It's even getting to where the 10-yard markers out in the field are hard to see. You got to go by the pylons on the side.
Well, Ross Norwood is making a face at me. I think he wants to get a drink of water here. Let him do that.
Thank you, Joe, because I was so good about that in the first half, about getting you a break to take a drink. So first down and 10 from the 37-yard line of Silsby. This ball handed off to Dodd, who, no, that is not Dodd. No, it was.
Yeah,
that looked like a 30 going down.
It looked like 30, it did. It really did. What does he get?
All right,
3?
Caleb Chandler or Colby Ewing in there on the stop.
Lots of fancy footwork by Dodd to pick that yardage up. Almost looked like he was running the tire course.
Yeah.
I formation. Handed off again to Dodd, who goes to the far side, gets around the corner, but not by much, and he will pick up maybe a yard. Actually, they're going to say he lost a yard.
Looks like he lost one.
Yeah, look at
So
that.
I guess he didn't get around the corner.
Guess he did not.
It amazes me that the nose guard can get out there and make that play from the interior defensive line. It goes to show his speed there.
Something this Panther defense has a lot of. It's third down and 7. Shotgun with one back to his left. Drops back, throws, is
Off
hit
the
by
back foot.
Ewing. Wobbly ball in, out of the hands.
Oh,
and
man.
there's a late flag, and I'm not sure.
If I'm Chad, I have to get thrown out over that one.
Hey, you want to chuckle on that one? They're
I
gonna
have to get thrown out over
They're
that
gonna call. Looks like they're gonna call defensive pass interference, and
Well,
that just.
He picked it back up.
Well, hopefully he just dropped that, and he was sweaty and wanted to wipe his face.
Maybe. I think he picked it up.
Okay.
No, they did call it. I see the referee making the signal.
Sideline warning has been issued to the Panthers.
I think that's all they did was sideline warning.
Okay. It's possible that the coaches had walked out too far on the field and he almost ran into one. That could be what happened.
Okay, because the way they reacted in the way that flag came in,
Yeah.
it looked like a late pass interference play, and the contact didn't happen until after the
After the ball
ball.
was gone.
Well, there have been some officials that have been hurt by running into coaches, and they're pretty aware of that.
Oh, absolutely. Punt
Short
by
punt.
Brisbane.
Short punt. What quick kick? When's the last time you saw a quick kick?
That ball going to come dead at the Silsby 25-yard line.
How about that?
Well, that's one of the things that you and I talked about earlier. The quarterback also being the punter makes it very dangerous because you're not sure, is he going to throw it? Is he going to run for it? Is he going to punt it? That was a nice quick kick.
Yeah, I guess it really wasn't a quick kick because it wasn't on third down, but it was, it looked for all intents and purposes to be just another play out of the pistol, and he backs up. Of course, here I am showing my age, and Joe's going to love it.
Hey, I didn't see. This is you burning yourself now.
Yeah.
So
They used to call the spread the short punt. Years ago, they used to call the spread formation. When they started doing that in the pros, they called that the short punt.
See, now here's where I'm going to come back at you. I was
Stop.
I was a baby in heaven when they called it that.
Now, you were around for the run and shoot.
Oh, well, I was.
Run and shoot's a brand new formation. Man.
Yeah. Liberty gets the ball at the 25-yard line. Walker pitches this to Jolyn Curtis, who kicks out to the far side before being stopped, and we've got some players
Folks laying
down
on the ground, don't we? Not getting up at all.
And that maybe is that that's a tiger.
Yes,
that is a Silsby tiger.
He is laying still. That's scary. Was that Jolyn Curtis or was that number one?
I think it was Curtis.
No, I think that was Bankhead.
Was it?
He's the one there right there with his helmet on. I think it was.
Michael Pope from Methodist Hospital out on the field. .10 left, and they're going to send the players
to the sidelines.
Actually, they're going to get the good news. I saw him. He is up, sitting up.
But he probably doesn't know what day it is. I mean, it looked like out went I was afraid it was a neck, the way he just stayed on the ground like that. But evidently it's not because they let him up off the ground.
There's
trying to put some time back on the clock. I think the referee is sick. Either that or he's going to a concert.
Yeah, they put 40 seconds on the play clock.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
As they continue to work on the gentleman who is down for
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, serving Liberty ISD since 2007. Tonight's offensive starters are right tackle Juan Sanchez, right guard Zach Davis, center Cord Carter, left guard Joe Garcia, and left tackle Dylan Davis. At the skills positions tonight, tight end Cade Jordan and tight end Gavin Fontenot. In the backfield for the Panthers, halfback Austin Walker, fullback Titus Bell, and halfback Mason Godot. And under center tonight, quarterback Caden Nolan. Tonight's defensive.
27
All righty, we are back after the injury timeout. This ball pitched. Is that Mason Godot?
I think possibly. I can't tell.
It is.
Okay.
And he was
gets out to the 30.
He's going to go back a yard for a yard or two. Be third down and 11.
Maybe a little loss on the play.
Valtierra checks into the ball game. Coming out is Titus Bell. Big third down play here with 9:26 left and trailing 7 points. Godot goes in motion. Walker rolls out to the near side, pulls the ball down, tries to get away. He is going to get back to what was the original line of scrimmage when this drive, or when this set of downs started.
I see you know you're good when you trick the cameraman. The Silsby Tigers uniforms are getting so muddy now that they look like the gray uniform tops of the Panthers.
And we have an official's timeout as the referee walks over to the Liberty sideline. Not sure what is going on. He is talking with another one of the officials as they waiting for
some kind of indication. It'll be 4th down nonetheless, and Shemp comes out to punt. 8:56 left in this ball game. Liberty down 7 points. Miller will be the deep man for Silsby, and he'll stand at about the 48-yard line.
Need a good snap here.
Good snap. Shemp drops the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Kicks it
Better.
high. It is going to land inside the
ball.
50-yard line and roll down and die at the 45-yard line. And when I said drop the ball, I didn't mean he dropped it. It was a perfect snap, and he dropped the ball to kick.
Yeah, it was a good drop. That's 3 straight possessions in a row with a punt, and actually 4 out of the last 5 possessions ended in a punt. So it's become a defensive struggle. Liberty needs a big defensive play here. I don't know with the time like it is and with Silsby's lead that they're going to – I would not. Of course, you know, that's the reason I'm sitting up there and the coaches are making that money, but I would not jeopardize anything with any passes right here. I'd try to run the ball.
Of course.
Run off the clock.
You know, they've had issues.
True.
And he is going to drop back.
Look at him pass.
He passes. It is
Screen
complete over the
pass,
middle of the
outrunning
field.
screen.
Across the 30-yard line and going to be taken down near the 25-yard line of Liberty. And a big gain on 1st down for Silsby as the clock will move
What number?
once the ball is set.
What was that? Was
I
that number
could not-
1?
I could-
16.
16.
That looked like to be
30
just
yard.
a throwaway play there, and it turned into a huge gainer for the Tigers.
Well, it
Ball
was
trip.
it was some type of a screen, but he was in front. He was in front of his screen.
Victor Ruiz was in the face of Brisbane and almost got him down. This ball handed off to Dodd. He is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by Bo Fowler.
Lost about 6 or 7.
And we have some extracurricular activities on the far side of the field.
That's kind of put them out of field goal range, probably, if they can hold them right here.
Luckily able to get in and break that up before any flags had to be thrown.
What yard line are we on here? About the 32?
Looks to
Yeah.
me like the 32-yard line. That would be a long
7.
field goal attempt from here on
Yeah.
a perfect field conditions, and, well, we don't have that. But it's only 2nd down. Brisbane in the shotgun, man in motion. He drops back, looks, he's hit as he throws, and it is caught by Moore, who's tackled into the end zone.
Well, he is just a weapon.
Miller, not Moore.
Yeah.
He's lining himself up to be first-team All-District right now. He's just almost unstoppable.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'll give that one to the quarterback. With the pressure he had on him, and he took a lick as soon as he turned that ball loose, he was still able to concentrate, throw that ball right in Miller's belly.
And he has done that over and over tonight with that pressure. They're getting a lot of pressure on him. Ugly snap, rolls back slowly to the holder who picks it up and drops down on it, and the extra point is no good. So it is 20-7.
Waldrop getting in there and stopping that before they could get anything going. And I was going to mention number 7, Bo Fowler. He's one of those Panther defenders that had just really come on this year. Kind of a short-statured young fella, but he gets out there, man. He's got his name called a lot this year.
Starters are on the defensive line. The officials huddling. Not sure what they're just regrouping. Liberty will get the ball back with 7:23 left in this game, but they now trail 20-7 in the 2nd district game. Silsby looking to even their record at 1-1 in district after losing to Orangefield last week. And Liberty trying to improve to 2-0, but time is running out, Joe.
Yeah, there's no doubt this is going to create a logjam. And this was something that happened in a similar situation last year. Liberty kind of on the outside looking in, but there were 3 or 4 of the other teams in the district that were all similarly recorded.
Finally a mistake like I make.
Finally, no, I've been making them all night long. I believe Orangefield and Hardin Jefferson and Hampshire Finette were all kind of battling for that 3rd and 4th spot last year.
4 teams go to the playoffs. De La Olivia will kick it off. Jolin Curtis is the deep man on the near side. On the far side is Alex Valtierra, and this one is going to go to Valtierra. In and out of his hands at the 20, picks it up, comes over to the near side, and he is going to be on his feet before being taken down at about the 26, 27, Neil?
26, 20, yeah, I think you're right, 26.
That ball did not come directly to Valtierra, hit the ground. He fielded it, came off of him.
On
But
the short hop, it's hard. A football doesn't bounce correctly. It doesn't bounce like a baseball or a basketball.
No. And a
sometimes
short hop.
It'll die. Sometimes it'll jump to one side. Sometimes it'll jump right at you.
So the Panthers need to score. This ball inside handoff to Jolin Curtis.
To about 31.
And so a good pickup on first down for the Panthers as the clock ticks under 7 minutes. Almost at 6 minutes, but it's an extra minute there.
It's always fun to see which of the officiating crew has a good arm.
Yeah.
When they're tossing the ball back to the middle.
32. Excuse me.
It's the little things that keep us going, Ross.
2nd down and 5. Pitched back to.
Curtis again.
No, that was Valtierra was the ball carrier.
Yeah, it was.
And we'll see where they place the spot.
Oh, they give him a lot. I say a lot. Gave him 2.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. Under 6 minutes. Liberty trails Silsby 20-7. We're going to have movement, and we may have some encroachment by the defense. We'll see who they say moved first. From our vantage point, it looked like it was Silsby that came across the line and made contact with the center, Cord Carter. One of the Silsby linemen trying to help the officials, and it is going to be encroachment against Silsby. So 5 yards, that'll be enough for a Liberty Panther first down.
Watching Liberty Panther Sports Network, Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing going to be home next Friday. Orangefield coming to town.
Waiting. Now the ball is ready to be snapped. Inside handoff to Curtis, who is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets right to the line of scrimmage. Yep, they're going to say he did
Backed
lose
up 1.
a yard there. And we're going to have a timeout for Liberty with 5:13 left to play in this ball game, trailing Silsby 20-7. And it may just be me, and it probably is, but does it seem as if that down box is moving a little slower than it normally does?
It kind of does. They seem like they're unsure, but they're having to wait on the linesman to get the ball down. And I think that's where the slowness is coming from. They're not spotting the ball very fast. And here again, we're having difficulty because we have no yard lines to go by.
Yeah, no hash marks.
And now, and like I say, now we don't have any markings on the field at the 10-yard markers. You have to go by the pylons on the side of the field, and generally those are blocked off by the coaches and 11 or 12 teenagers in a dirty uniform.
And some of them are – is wop-sided a word?
Wop-sided? Wamper-jawed. I know that's a word.
We'll say womp-sided. Some of them are womp-sided.
What, the pylons?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Annie-goggling, as my mama used to say.
I want to say whomper jawed. I'm pretty excited about using that word from here on out.
Out of the shotgun formation.
Oh,
and Liberty's going to have quite a bit of movement as they started to tango before that ball was snapped.
That won't work.
And they'll head back 5 yards.
Count this up while they're regrouping here. 10, 25, 30.
Nolan was coming out of the shotgun. Have we seen a snap tonight by Liberty out of the shotgun?
I don't think so. I think this is the first series.
60 yards of penalties so far for Liberty.
Low snap.
That's why.
Picked up by Caden Nolan, who completes the pass to Mason Godot.
It's like it completes it for about a 2-yard pickup.
Well, 2 yards is better than not.
Yeah, that's true. True enough.
No, it's not a 2-yard pickup.
Maybe
either.
1 yard.
Yeah. Well, I'll give him 2. You're right. I'll give him 2.
I was told not to go against my elders, Neil Thornton.
2 is good.
Again out of the shotgun. Good snap from Nolan as he goes down the field and connects, but it is with a Silsby Tiger for the interception.
Yeah, that was never going to be anywhere, and now we've got a flag on the field.
Jarek Harper, and this is going to be against Silsby, but I am going to be interested. I think it's going to be after the play.
Be some unsportsmanlike conduct. Is that what they called?
Yeah, that does look like that is what they called.
Celebrating or something.
No, that is not against Silsby. That was against Liberty, right?
Well, they called it in the direction of Silsby.
So we will see a better indication of this. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Silsby. But it will be Silsby's ball.
After their ball, right.
1st and 10, but from further down the field. This has just been kind of an ugly game all the way around, Ross.
4 minutes and 20 left in this one. Liberty with 2 timeouts, but they trail 13 by 13.
63 yards of penalties against Silsby.
Shotgun formation from Brisbane. He hands it off.
Number 4.
To Jamarian Elam. And he will pick up maybe a yard there as he went to the outside.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah, Bo Fowler, Austin Walker in there with the stop on that.
Under 4 minutes to play. Silsby with a 13-point lead, not in any hurry to snap the ball as they break their huddle. Play clock is down to 8 seconds. Hand it off again.
That number 1, that's Miller, isn't it?
That looks like Miller.
Yeah,
it is Miller, and he is going to have a nice gain on 2nd down. It'll bring up 3rd down as we are now under 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play in this ball game.
Yeah, if I were the coordinator for Silsby, I would do whatever I could to get the ball in that young man's hands. He is definitely a home run threat every time he touches the ball.
Well, and he's had a big reception and kick return called back because of penalties.
Right. He got 116 yards on two receptions, 2 touchdowns so far off those receptions. So, yeah, he's had a night, even the things have been called back.
Again, it is handed off.
That was Miller again.
To
Like
Miller.
He lost about 1.
Titus Bell with the stop there for the Panthers.
He was the dot on that I formation. And that's going to bring up a 4th down, under 2:30 in this one.
Be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if they let the clock run all the way down and then call a timeout here.
Yeah, they have that. It almost surprised me if they didn't.
Because they seem to be in no hurry to come on with a play, and they're probably going to do that.
Yeah, they've got all 3 of their timeouts, and we're within 2 minutes.
And I see their coach just signaling for the timeout, and timeout will be had. The clock will stop at 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
This is going to be one of those games where the staff looks and just it's frustrating. You draw up the game plan, and Mother Nature has other intentions for you, and there were just a lot of little things. And the game's not over by any stretch of the imagination, but with 2 minutes to go, one could jump to the conclusion that it's probably done. Although we've seen the Panthers do some strange things, so who knows?
Well, you're right on the money with the field conditions like they are. It's kind of hard to make one of those fantastic comebacks. Like we are at the peril of the elements, and we just couldn't get up and running tonight. They've got a lot of clean shirts in there tonight. Silsby does, so they're getting some boys some playing time.
Out of the shotgun formation is Brisbane. And he is going, that was actually the punt formation. He gets the punt off. It rolls across the 40 inside the 35 and down into the 30, inside the 30-yard line before being killed by Silsby. And that's where Liberty will start their next possession. Trailing
42-yard
13 points. Is that the 32-yard line?
Well, if this were the old NBA Jam game, perhaps we could start on a hot spot.
Yeah.
Score 14 on 1. You know, the Panthers have been just a whisper away from some really big plays themselves. Again, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that the Panthers can come up with something big here and make this interesting here in the waning moments of this contest.
What yard line did you call that, Ross? Is that the 26?
Yeah, 26, 27-ish, but they've got 26 on the board.
Okay.
So let's go with that. Out of the shotgun, Nolan. 3 wide receivers on the right. He rolls out to the far side. He is going to pass. He has a completion to Austin Walker.
You know, they've got some rules in place, and I understand why they have them, but, man, on that kind of play, you wish that your player could get back up and go some more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because that was a nice pickup on first down and leave them with a 2nd down and 2.
And you may see some more of that soft coverage as the Tigers drop to try to prevent the home run ball.
And it just plays into the run-pass option because everything's under the umbrella.
Ball handed off to Curtis,
who
dances right into the middle, and he is going to be taken down for a loss.
Head linesman did not throw the flag. I thought for sure he had him by the face mask, but
under a minute to play.
Lost one.
Silsby will improve to 1-1, and Liberty will fall to 1-1 in district. Low snap. Nolan picks it up, rolls out to the far side, throws high to his intended receiver down the sideline, Mason Godot. Or was that Walker? That was Walker was the intended receiver on the far side.
Liberty going to be forced to go for it here with 37 seconds left in the contest.
Curtis to the left of Nolan. Nolan pitches this one forward to Curtis, who's going to be taken down for a loss.
But that's a completed pass.
It is a completed pass.
Ball goes over to the Tigers.
Silsby will have it with 30 seconds remaining, and they'll take a knee here.
I'm sure.
You would think so.
Well, you would. Stranger things have happened for sure. I don't remember who it was, but it's happened before where in a situation like this, the other team's gone and put up a thrown downfield for a touchdown. Ball will be spotted at the Liberty 30-yard line. First down and 10.
Yeah, they are in victory formation here.
Yeah. Unless he's going to punt.
Drops down to a knee, and that should do it, or at least close. They may have to.
No, that'll do it for him.
They'll wait to set it. And Silsby picks up the win tonight, 20-7. As the teams get ready to go shake hands at the 50-yard line. A tough loss for Liberty. Few mistakes.
Yeah, I'd say.
But both teams.
Well, the good news, if you can call anything good, is this has happened early in district. And actually, you can learn a lot more in a loss oftentimes than you can in victory. You know, that's the old cliche, but it really is true. And they'll be able to look at the tape, and they'll be able to make some changes, make some fixes. And I think they'll be more prepared, particularly with Orangefield coming to town next Friday. There's a case that Orangefield's going to look at this game and maybe let their guard down a little bit because they did beat Silsby, and that could perhaps work in the favor of the Panthers.
We saw that, Joe, earlier in the year when Liberty went to Madisonville.
Right.
And Madisonville had drubbed Diboll the week before.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that.
And Liberty had fallen to Huffman big the week before.
We're going to stay here just a second until Coach Taylor has a chance to come up here and talk to us. Again, your Liberty Panthers falling to 1-1 in district play, 4-2 on the year, 3-1 in non-district action. And they will be at home next Friday night hosting the Orangefield Bobcats. There'll be a kickoff at 7:30 p.m. And as we're waiting to get the stat rundown and Coach Taylor up here with us around the horn, we want to thank our sponsors, the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, for sponsoring the starting lineups for tonight. I have been serving Liberty ISD since 2007. And thank our scoreboard sponsor, attorney at law Emily Cook. Again, without our sponsors, a lot of the things that we do would not be possible. And to give a little shout out to Mr. Bill Buchanan over at the former owner-operator of KSHN. A lot of the equipment that we're using right now came from his collection of different things, and allowing us to get a great educational opportunity and experience for these Liberty High School camera operators and producers in training. On camera tonight, Tanis Grimes, Alejandro Minivar, Alan Parga, and in the junior producer's chair, Oscar Cicada. You've been watching Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, and Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing. Don't forget to check out LHS Live. Next Wednesday, we'll be joined by Coach John Stelly. That'll be 9:30 a.m. Again, we do that every Wednesday at 9:30. You can find that on lhslive.net. Neil, are you getting pretty close?
Oh, yeah, whatever you need to know.
All right, go ahead, Neil.
I'll kind of do a short run here. Liberty, 149 total yards on 38 and 8, 46 plays. Quarterbacks, Caden Nolan and Austin Walker were 3 for 9 passing, 2 interceptions, 7 total yards on their passing for the night. 65 yards worth of penalties and 7 penalties. And y'all heard me say that before. That's a drive, 65 yards to drive. But on the other side, 63 yards worth of penalties for Silsby. Silsby had 294 yards of total offense. Their quarterback, Brisbane, was 7 for 20 passing with 1 interception, 226 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns. So the Liberty was on the fumble side of the ball. They fumbled the ball 5 times and lost 3 of them. Silsby fumbled the ball 1 time and got it back. So the turnovers deep in the territories were kind of the nails in the coffin here.
All right, thank you for that, Neil. Around the horn in 11-4A, West Orange Stark headed over to Hardin Jefferson. Bridge City was at Hampshire Fannett, and of course we were at Silsby tonight, and that left, who was that? Orangefield idle this evening. And so that's actually good news, I think, for us. Orangefield going to have to come in to War Memorial Stadium next Friday night. Again, around the horn, the Liberty Panther cross-country teams in action tomorrow at the Dayton Bronco Invitational, and the first Panther teams will be running at about 8:50, and that will be held at the high school. It's going to be a muddy track tomorrow. Been raining in Dayton pretty much all day long, and that course is a 1-mile loop. It's always, if it gets any water on it, it always turns into a mud bath out there. The Panther band on the road tomorrow down to P&G, where they're going to be doing their pre-UIL marching contest as they're gearing up for actual marching contest in a couple of weeks. And we've got, I think we've got some UIL activities that are going to be taking place tomorrow over in West Hardin. So we've got a lot of stuff going on around the horn. And again, Coach Taylor almost ready to come up here with us. He's just wrapping up with the team down on the field. Ross, what was your summation, your key for tonight? I know we've mentioned it a number of times.
Just the turnovers.
Yeah, the turnovers. Yeah,
and the field did. Lend to the turnover. It really did. But that's a matter of preparation. You need to prepare with a wet ball. If you can catch a wet one, you can catch a dry one easy. It's not necessarily so much of the catching. It's the handoffs and the exchange from center. When that ball comes up out of wet grass, excuse me, Ross.
I thought you were trying to get my attention.
I just slapped Ross in the head with a wire. When that ball comes up off the turf, off of wet grass, it's awful hard to handle, and I think we saw that tonight.
From both teams.
Yes.
And
Silsby just happened to be fortunate enough to fall on theirs.
Yeah, I think that's there's no doubt about that. All right, here comes Coach Taylor trying to make his way over here. Let's see if he's a deer. I know when he was in high school, he was pretty agile.
Here we go with my age again, but I remember that.
Well, he had to get the Mountain Dew first.
He cannot talk without the Mountain Dew. And I think I got his eye contact here. There's actually no quick way to get up here. You have to go all the way to the end of the stands to get through the gate and then get up here. Coach Taylor always has some positive spins after a non-positive result, but then again, he also doesn't pull the punches as well. He's pretty true to his word.
You know, the plus side, Joe, to him having to you talked about the long walk over here, is he won't get stuck in the elevator.
That's so true.
And as somebody who has been stuck in the elevator this year, it's not fun.
No, it is definitely not fun. And again, I'm sorry, it seems like we're kind of dragging this on here, but Coach Taylor almost up here, and I've said that 4 or 5 times, but he really is almost here. Excited to hear about him. When he gets up here, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ross, and I'm going to help the crew start packing up so we can get out of here. I have to get up myself in the morning. I'm headed to cross country.
And we'll have that story from the Tony Munson Invitational posted either later tonight or tomorrow, and we apologize. I had some technical issues getting that thing loaded.
We blame everything on Gremlins, and I love it, and I love you for it. Of course, when you're dealing with technology, even the best laid plans of mice and men, as the Bard himself once wrote. All right, here he is. Without further ado, Liberty Athletic Director and head football coach Chad Taylor. I'm going to switch places with him, and away you go.
All righty. Coach Taylor is now headset on, ready to go. I noticed we did comment, Coach, that you had your Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I might lose my sponsorship tonight.
Talk a little bit about, we did not have an opportunity to go down on the field before the game, and it didn't look great, the field conditions, and it really didn't help y'all tonight at all.
Nah, I mean, everybody called me all week long, oh, it's going to be raining, it's going to fit right in your hands, and I'm scared to death all week because we seem to fumble snaps when the sun's out and it's dry. And so the last thing I told them whenever we walked out of the locker room was, whoever can handle the conditions is going to win the game. We didn't handle the conditions, and ultimately, you know, it always put us behind the chains. You know, it's a lot easier to play offense when things are going well. When things aren't going well, you look around, you can't find some of them. We got some front runners today. That's all I'm going to say. We have front runners today.
Penalties also played a factor. And there were a couple that, you know, you kind of looked at and went, okay, well, I'm not real sure I see that one. And there were a couple that you saw that didn't get called. How do y'all handle that?
We don't handle it very well. I don't handle it very well as a coach when I sit there and at the point of attack, I see jersey being pulled. You know, on this kickoff return that they had, they got called back eventually. It happened right here in front of the guy. Right there in front of me, within 3 yards of that guy, and he's not the one that threw it. So that I don't understand what they're looking at. I really don't. You know, we got fortunate on that one, then we got unfortunate on the kickoff return that we had. So, you know, I mean, that happens. You know, I mean, it was behind the play. That's what I don't understand sometimes what goes through 15, 16, 17-year-old minds, you know.
That is always tough when you have a penalty like that costs the return, and it was not related to the play.
Yep.
And that was a very nice return. We saw two quarterbacks tonight.
It wasn't supposed to be like that. It wasn't supposed to be like that. I don't really know what was going on. We're in week 6, and we're still fumbling snaps. You knew the situation. You knew the situation before we got here. We talked about how you have to stay in there longer. Got to stay in there longer to secure the snap. I mean, it was just I don't really know what to say about it. I hope that it was just something that happened this week, and next week hopefully it dries out, because clearly we don't play very well in these type of conditions.
Next week you talked Orangefield, and I'm not going to ask you what you're going to tell the team coming out of the first half,
clearly.
Out of halftime. What do you look for in working on in practice beyond the?
Well, let's be honest, okay? I mean, Silsby's got dudes all over the stinking place. I mean, they had, you know, the two linebackers. I mean, when you walk across at the end and you get right next to them, I mean, they're big and strong, you know. I mean, and they're fast up front. Orangefield's tough. Orangefield is going to be as hard-nosed of a team as we're ever going to play. Their defense is just as salty as this one. You know, hopefully the conditions are a little bit better that allow us to do a few more things, and then we could, you know, get back on track. I mean, clearly, to not play the first half very well and be tied at 7, we knew, and I felt like, I mean, I was okay punting. I said, man, let's just. I mean, our defense was playing lights out. We knew they had the best receiver in the district. I mean, he looks like DK Metcalf if you see him up close. I mean, we knew he was a guy, you know. So when you know that, and you get beat deep 3 times, it's kind of tough. But while my man Richie's on the deal over there, I want to say that his son was lights out, sideline to sideline, 44. If I had 11 of them, I can't say 11 because I thought 7 was lights out, and 13 was. I mean, I thought those guys, man, they were all over the place. 20's a leading rusher in our district, and I thought we hemmed him up really well. And you know, it's just a shame that we couldn't do anything on our end to help him out. And when we did start moving it, we'd end up shooting ourselves in the foot. So it was just it wasn't a fun game to be. You know, last week it was fun to be on the offensive side. This week it's not fun at all.
And that defense really in some tough spots, and stopped a pretty powerful offense.
Without a doubt. I mean, you know, it's you know, I mean, they get the ball down there and we hold them to a field goal try and they miss it. You know, I mean, we put them in bad spots all night long. The very first play of the game we fumbled the snap on the 20, you know, and we hold them out there. So I mean, yeah, I mean, those guys, and a lot of them play offense, and if they could bring that same juice, we'd probably be okay.
All righty, Coach. Well, we will talk with you on Monday. I thank you for joining us. I'm getting the wrap sign before they turn the lights out on us.
Nah, it'll be all right.
Thank you, Coach Taylor, for coming up, and we look forward to talking with you on Monday.
Appreciate you.